San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, the Cowboys interviewing seems to be complete as they search for a new defensive coordinator. Mike Zimmer and Ron Rivera and Adam Durde have all pled their cases. In the NBA, the Spurs hit the road in the Rodeo Road Trip, and Jose Altuve is a rich man. 5 years, $125 million to stay around Houston. This is Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Talk.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, huddle up around us. It's the Morning Huddle. That's RJ Ochoa. You heard his bona fides, the managing editor, Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, today's professor-in-chief, and this is the Morning Huddle live from Radio Row. Good morning to you, RJ. Good morning to you, Edwin. How everybody doing this fine Wednesday morning? We're at the midway point.
We're not quite at the midway
point.
Hump
Day.
But it's still, we're only starting the hump day. We're still not over.
We are on the hump. We are humping it, as an Aggie would do.
Let's see here. Rudy Gonzalez on the Brigade bar says, good morning, Breakfast Brigade checking in.
We appreciate that, Brigade. Sound off like you got a pair. Log on,
the morning,
like, subscribe, and do all the appropriate
The morning
items.
Cuddle. I saw you cuddling a corn dog this morning.
The morning cuddle is we might have to have our own little segment. See, we air our grievances. Maybe we should have our morning cuddle. Little softness, little love for the world.
Like I said, you were cuddling a corn dog.
I was. Well, I had to drive this morning.
Yeah, we drove for the first time this morning. And it was a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, we did. It was an unexpected need to drive. Our driver was unable to fulfill his duties, and then unable to leave the keys in an appropriate place, which then led to a near fall downstairs and a stagger through the dark hallways of what we have deemed the Radio Ranch West there at Sara Lee Court.
Well, last night was the media party around these parts, and we were fed, and it was cold. Everything about this Super Bowl is weird.
They have, Vegas is lucked out. They've, by a hair. If it had been raining last night, I don't know what they would have done. If it had been raining for media night when they were dropping everybody off, I don't know what they would have done. But for whatever reason, the rain stopped just in time for both of those events. Though
it was still really cold.
Vegas is underwater, and then it was cold.
Yeah, I mean, again, not complaining, but I do think that we've entered some sort of Bermuda Triangle as far as Las Vegas or Super Bowl coverage experiences are concerned. I've never been this cold except for in Minnesota throughout an entire Super Bowl week. I've never been this wet ever. It's just, it's a unique thing.
One of the things I always say, if you want to learn something about someone, travel with them. Find out about him. RJ is fussy in the morning. That was fussy talk, right?
That's not true.
That was fussy talk.
No, I was fussy yesterday because yesterday was our first, kind of full day responding to a full day. Yesterday, I mentioned this after the show. I was finally able to get a nap and some food.
Your first real meal, which does help.
And the water stabilized yesterday afternoon. I felt like I had life in me all of a sudden. We've got coffee for the second straight morning, so we're starting to streak. Things are looking up.
And we expect Danish and donuts.
That's correct. We did get some donuts yesterday.
So we have a show that is chock full of goodness, not only including what we did or didn't do last night. Because RJ, you have no idea the effort that goes on, and this is legitimate, the effort that goes into putting this thing on as we travel the road show. But
you're telling me?
You started
that with RJ.
I said RJ understands, and I'm just telling you the tremendous effort that goes in behind the scenes.
Speckled Truth has a Shipley donut in hand.
I know.
Okay.
The effort. Last night, the self-sacrifice that the morning huddle offered to its listeners was above and beyond the call of duty, because we left a rockin' party early. A Vegas in the 50s, Vegas in the 2020s, Vegas through the years experience that had everything from dancing Elvises and Marilyn Monroe's to Saturday Night Fever dance floors, and we were home by 10.
Yeah, we were.
I'm not proud of it. In my younger days, I would have made fun of guys like us, but we were home in preparation.
You know what?
That's midnight to you guys, by the way.
I felt fine. I mean, you were the one who was really eyeing all the.
I had to make a command decision as I was standing in the bar for my 4th free drink that if I take this one, the night will turn and I will suffer for the next 48 hours because tonight's busy, tomorrow night's busy, Friday night, Super Bowl's busy. I knew that the pain was not going to be worth the party, but last night was a throwdown. I can't wait because we haven't talked to Jason and Joe yet. They got to celebrate appropriately.
We saw their Instagram photos, and it looked like they had a good time. They saw Elvis' stepbrother, I believe.
That's a story for. You want to talk about one of the more difficult lots in life?
Look, I mean, we all have priorities,
I guess, and I guess it's easy money.
So you mentioned we have a stacked show. We have a lot of guests today.
Mm-hmm.
In just a little bit, Andrew Perloff.
Yes.
Come stop by. From Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Now, you guys know who Andrew Perloff is. He is one of the original Danette. He's the dude.
The OG.
Yeah. A funny guy, great radio guy, does CBS National. We'll be stopping by.
Well, he said he had a Spurs kind of
in talking to him, he has a bet out there for whether Wemby will get Rookie of the Year, and the winner or loser, depending on how you look at it, will be coming to San Antonio to have a fine meal and see them. So we'll talk to him about that and what it is like to be a national talk radio host. A great report. And
by the way, all of these interviews are individually available as soon as they're done on our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Like all the videos, turn on to the notifications. What do we call that, Rob?
You're being a noti.
The noti gang.
Yeah,
that's the noti gang. So this interview, if you want to, you should watch the whole show. That is certainly appreciated. But if you're busy and you somehow missed and you hear us reference it, you're saying, "What? I missed that interview." You can go to the YouTube channel. You can see the interview on its own specifically. We'll tweet out the links as well at Rob Thompson ESPN. At our show, so we'll point you in the right direction. We're really just air traffic controllers.
That's really from here on out. So Mike Smith, former head coach of the Falcons, going to stop by. Mike McCarthy, not that one, sadly, though he is very familiar to us on our airwaves. Will not be. It's Mike McCarthy. He is the chief writer for Front Office Sports. It's kind of a Bible for those of us in the business. It's the financial side of the business. He's a great interview. We see him every year, and you will certainly enjoy his insight into a lot of things going on. Specifically, we're going to talk about it, this brand new streaming conglomeration that's going to include ESPN and Fox and TNT and all of the conference broadcast networks, all the things that you're looking for, and one handy little app that will only cost as much as any other app, but since they're all together, it'll slowly rise.
We're going to talk about this, so I don't want to spoil it. But we had one thing that had all of these things, and it was cable. And like, oh man, how convenient would it be if all these individual
it got
services...
too expensive. Let's break it apart so it can be more expensive.
Yeah, how convenient would it be if all of the channels I wanted were in one place and I only had to pay one bill? That sure would be cool.
Well, there were issues. I mean, it would, in the broadest sense, and the RSNs, the regional sports networks that all went bankrupt, that Bally bought from Fox Sports West and a variety of other sources.
The Sportsnet and Root ones.
Yeah, all those. It exposed the little problem, the secret that the pipeline is screwed up by the entities involved. So sometimes you can't get from here to there. You have to have a detour, another provider, or an intermediary. So this is good on the offing. I don't like it. It's changed, and as such, I fear it, and we will certainly be talking about it. We will also be talking with one of the best writers out there. This is at 8:30. This is one of those appointments you want to set your alarm. Her name is Kalyn Kahler. She writes for The Athletic, and she's the master of the deep dive, the long piece, the investigative story in sports, and I can't wait to talk to her. One of those persons that you look forward to reading everything they've got because they're insightful, well thought out, well researched, and I expect her to be the same.
I read a lot when it comes to just general news, but certainly, sports and particularly the NFL. And there are a handful of readers who, shows up, okay, I will devote time to read all of this, and she's one of them. She's done deep dives on the Dallas Cowboys and their analytical staff. She's done deep dives on She had this massive deep dive. This is the only one that I was just a little, because there's a little bit of attrition here. The tush push. I'm done with tush push discussion content. That really wasn't about her.
It's not about the conversation. It's about just being able to say it.
No, I'm really exhausted by it, and thankful that we don't have to talk about it at least this week.
Oh, I'm pushing some tush. See that gets weird when you say that.
No,
right?
I just hate when
you've been pushing some tush.
I was telling you this yesterday. a great gripe of mine is when people take massively popular things and present them as original ideas. So I really don't like when people are like, well, I call it the tush push. For real? What?
The tush push.
So now it's just about the name, and that annoys me. So
his name is RJ Ochoa.
That's true.
My name is Rob Thompson.
Also true.
The name of our show is The Morning Huddle.
Also true.
His name is Andrew Perloff.
Right.
He is warming up. He is on deck, swinging the bat, and ready to go. Andrew Perloff of CBS Sports fame, originally known as a Danette with the Dan Patrick Show, a radio performer extraordinaire, and he's coming your direction. So grab your cup of coffee, sit comfortably in a chair of your finding, and stay with us. This is The Morning Huddle. He's RJ, I'm Rob, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The Sports Star boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip! Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Rob and RJ and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99, only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3H test versus API SP test limits.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or this or that.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
The 6-Hour Smile.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pletcher. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury protection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code Alamo. That's Alamo on Prize Picks for your first deposit. They'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head, comb it over, wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out today, because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to anyone that texts expert to 200-300. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad, because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let Bosley show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Text expert to 200-300. That's expert to 200-300.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, gather around, huddle up on us. It is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, the professor in chief, so I've been told. We are joined by CBS Radio's own Andrew Perloff. You know him from Maggie and Perloff. Good to have you stop by. Thanks for setting your alarm and getting up early with us.
Oh, are you kidding me? I've been up since 1 o'clock. We're 6 to 10 Eastern. So my wake-up call is 1:30 here in Vegas. And you know what it's like in Vegas. Everybody's still up from the night before. So I'm walking through these people who are drunk or still gambling away, and I'm like groggy.
So, wild. We've all had to hit the bowl and do the games, and we've been in other cities where we wake up and we're literally the only ones working. Yeah. And I felt like coming here, it might feel better being out and about and seeing people living life and having fun. No, it's worse. It's worse terrible. Going to work when people are out having fun. I'd rather it be a ghost town than see people partying.
You guys at 2 o'clock come? You guys want to?
Yeah, we're here.
In the morning? Wait, what time did you get here?
We got here about 2:45.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know? Oh,
yeah, you're just over on the good side of town. We're over in the.
I thought it was just me and Brady Quinn hanging out over there. Yeah, it's By the way, my wake up call is I've arrived 10 minutes later every morning.
Oh, us too.
By the end, I'm going to be right as the show begins. I'm going to be running in.
It's a difficult time. East Coast time is stupid, but this is even worse. Like this is awful. Central time zone is beautiful for a reason, and it makes sense. So it's so awkward finishing at 8 a.m. here. Like I don't know what to do, and then we have all these other things to do, and so I feel awkward and discombobulated in every single sense.
Yeah.
Which is how I feel about my friendship with you on some level, because you're a Philly guy.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's definitely weird because I really enjoy your social feed. But there's this thing inside of me as a Philly guy. We were raised to hate one thing.
Yeah, right.
That was the Dallas Cowboys. But I actually have had a lot of friends who either work for the Cowboys or are Cowboys fans, so I appreciate them at least.
Do you guys feel as bad as we do?
About what?
About your team? Are you upset as we are?
No, because we got the ring in 17.
Well, there is that.
Yeah, it actually makes everything better. It's weird, and we were there last year. I mean, wait, I can't really even count that high. When's the last time the Cowboys won?
Yeah. It's been a long time. Radio was a new thing. Like it had just, we were still just starting out.
Smoke signals.
But it does feel like, so I do an NFC East podcast with Brandon Gotton from Bleeding Green Nation, and we both feel like the division has lost some juice. Because Cowboys fans are like, Nick Sirianni's a loser. Eagles fans are like Mike McCarthy. So, everyone just is making fun of everyone. But you can't make all the fun of our team. But you talk about the Cowboys a lot, and you have a plan to fix them. But I don't know if it's sincere or if it's what you want to see.
Wow.
like a Trojan horse sort of thing.
Since it's Jerry Jones, the Cowboys, I don't know either if it's sincere or not. Right. But I feel like this is my, obviously, bird's eye view is this is, okay, so Jerry did it their way. Since the day they took Zach Martin over Johnny Manziel, he's been listening to smart people in the room.
Sure.
The way they built the team is really quite conservative and smart. Jerry, what if Jerry came in there when he said that all-in quote that is, it's for national media, is just like, this is the topic. What if he said, we're going to do it my way, we're going to bring in stars, and stars at skill position players, Derrick Henry, maybe try and get Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa for the Chargers. Like, let's go all in. Let's sign these new contracts, kick the salary cap down the road, and just get, which, by the way, never works in the NFL. I mean, let's be honest. This is like, it's sort of the Chargers formula. But let's do it differently, not build the team the smart way, but go all in for a 1, 2 year, 3 time frame. And I was actually serious about that. Maybe they do it a little differently this offseason.
why don't you think that is how it's applied? I mean, he could do that.
Yeah.
What is the constraint? And is it in his mind what we consider all in is very different in his mind what all in because of the financial success of his franchise? I mean, he says it, and I think he believes it, but I don't know what that means.
How's he going to do it, though? Because he's got to pay he's got to pay probably Dak to change that. He's got to pay Micah Parsons. He's got to pay CD Lamb. So how do you go all in means spend, right? And you don't have a high draft pick. So I don't really even know what all in exactly means. Right. I do think it means structure everything to be in a closer time frame where you can bring in talent.
So you bring up Derrick Henry, and that was one of my initial thoughts too. And I do think that they're down so bad that we need a carrot, right? They have to throw everybody something to kind of, but like you're like signing a free agent running back is going all in. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you break it down in like
for $7 million.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you break it down,
a 30-year-old.
Exactly. Like wow, that's all they stood up and all chips from the table. So like when I realized that, I was like, I don't know what I expect them to do. And they're so stuck with Dak, as you mentioned. And I'm a big Dak believer, but I understand the timelines of it all don't totally line up. And so I do believe you have to make one decision or the other. And I think they're already too late in that by keeping Mike McCarthy around. Because now Cowboys fans are saying, well, they have this lame duck season and, well, that's their fault. Like that, they made that decision. They painted themselves into the corner and now they're stuck.
Yeah, I mean, also, too, we talk about this on the show. Is Belichick gloomy out there? And, is McCarthy, if he starts out 2-5, is he going to fire him midseason? Which really isn't Jerry's style. But one thing, the NFC East is definitely down. So they could easily win some games next year. I mean, Washington's rebuilding. Dan Quinn, I don't know how you guys feel about him, but Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury is not intimidating everyone. And then we have Kellen Moore. We being Philadelphia, has Kellen Moore, who does not seem like the ideal offense coordinator for Jalen Hurts, and no one knows who's in charge in Philadelphia right now. Sirianni has been watered down by Howie Roseman, and then there's the Giants. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to win. Do they really have to go all in to get to double-digit wins again? I know the schedule is harder next year.
That's my concern is they're going to pay the people who you mentioned, and they're going to define that. So all in is an ambiguous term. You're right. Yeah. And they're going to be like, we're all in. We've given CD over $30 million a year. We've given Micah $30 million a year. We've given Dak $50 million. We're all in.
Is that what he means? That's cheating.
That's my fear. I do think it's cheating, but I think I've been let down by them too many times, and they're always connected to all these players, and it's great content for me, and I enjoy that, and puts food on my table. But I just have a really hard time believing that. I envy Howie Roseman. I don't want anything to do with Nick Sirianni, but I would, in a heartbeat, trade Jerry the GM for Howie Roseman.
Yeah, no, he's had great picks.
He is Andrew Perloff, Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio, sitting with us, crossing the street as we were the morning crew. This bowl game in particular, when you were coming into it, what was the storyline you thought you would get, and what's the storyline you think you're going to chase?
So coming in, it was a lot of Patrick Mahomes' legacy. Is he chasing Tom Brady? And the other quarterback, Brock Purdy. Is Brock Purdy only here because the guys around him are so great? So that was really the main issue.
Is it going that direction?
But here's what has happened, though. We've had a lot of pretty smart football people who've come in and said, it's not about the quarterbacks. Right. It's really about who can establish a run game. It's about McCaffrey and Pacheco. So that's what's changed the most. Is I thought it'd be all the quarterbacks, and it is obviously a lot of quarterbacks. And then there's no escaping the gigantic cloud that lays over this entire Radio Row, this entire city. The Taylor Swift topic.
Is it a cloud or a bright sunshine? I don't know what to make out of this.
I don't even know. I can't. All right. I have a 13-year-old daughter. She thinks Taylor Swift is uncool and is therefore rooting for Brock Purdy to lead the Niners. And she knows no football. But she said to me, she called me the other day, she says, Brock Purdy better be on point. No early interceptions. I'm like, you haven't watched one game with me all year.
It's interesting. She seems like the outlier. Yes. I mean, as far as all citizens of the world are concerned.
No, I don't agree. There are a lot of people who are overexposed to Taylor Swift. You guys don't hear that? The backlash?
Well, I get it a little bit. I think that there is this manufactured anger that there is anger. I think there's a little bit of anger,
argument,
a little tired of seeing her, but I haven't seen universal hatred of Taylor Swift because I'm getting her 40 seconds on a Sunday afternoon. But I do think that it's part of the conversation, and I'm not sure how the NFL nor Taylor Swift in that industry want to parse it. How is this working? Is this a communal effort, or is one working to have to pull the other along? Is this, all of this is kind of snowballing, and we're all just kind of watching it, trying to figure out where are we going with this.
Did you see the Boomer Esiason report that Taylor Swift people asked the NFL to pay for the jet to come from Tokyo. I don't know if that's been confirmed. But so does that mean this is an official business relationship?
Right.
I don't even know.
Well, there was I think it was the week 3 Chiefs-Jets Sunday night game when they when her tour movie was coming out and they ran it during Sunday Night Football, and it was like they didn't charge her for that.
I know.
That's when it started to feel a little, it felt a little fabricated. But even if it is fabricated, I'm not like a wrestling fan, but I enjoy epic things. And she makes this the Super Bowl in and of itself is an epic thing, and I appreciate that. So she's adding to that.
My co-host Maggie Gray thinks the relationship, or at least thought, was a sham. I actually was never quite there because I feel like Travis Kelce would be a good catch for Taylor Swift. I know that sounds weird, but she is the most famous. But you've seen the nerds she's dated before, these music guys.
True.
Travis Kelce comes in there. He's also, I think, there's a reason his podcast is so popular. He's a down-to-earth guy. He's very personable.
Midwest realist.
Yeah. And I think Taylor Swift would. I mean, who would not respond to that? And I'm, of course, Jason Kelce fan. The other thing, let me ask the Dallas Cowboys perspective. Jason Kelce, was it annoying when he took off his shirt and rooted for the Chiefs, or are you guys Kelce fans?
I'm a Kelce fan. I appreciate it.
I'm
actually a Jason Kelce fan more than
he's the most likable Eagle, and there are some Eagles that are like easy to hate. Like I always hated Deshaun Jackson. I always hated LaShawn McCoy. Like they kind of fit the mold. But Jason's he's a cool dude, and part of it's the Trav thing. But he also is a Blogging the Boys fan. He's like engaging us for.
Oh, really?
He had a poll. They had a New Heights poll, and it was like defining what the best mascot was in the NFC East, and so he asked Blogging the Boys for help.
Oh, that's
to
great.
muddy the vote.
That's really cool.
So we're good. I'm cool with Jason.
So what's Kelce going to do around Philly? Is he going to hang around and be a face for the franchise, or is he going to?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure. I know in the suburbs he does this awesome thing where he'll go down the Jersey Shore, which is our beach area, and 10 bar. I think he's going to be just an ambassador.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I mean, Philly is a town where Eagles are everything. You can wear a Brian Dawkins jersey to a wedding, and it's considered formal wear. So just never pay for a drink his whole life. But it does feel like he's got a big national media career too, because of the New Heights podcast. And obviously Travis does too. But Jason, I think, has emerged as a real media force. I'd be surprised if he wasn't a national figure.
I feel like it's coming. We're talking with a national figure here, Andrew Perloff, right here, sitting with us here on San Antonio Sports Star. We appreciate all that's gone into. Any grievance for the week so far? Any complaints about what we've seen? Because we air our grievances every day at 9:00.
People hate when media complain.
Yeah, but you can do it.
Yeah,
are you guys staying in the same hotel I am?
No, we're at an Airbnb like 3-4 miles away, and it's a jaunt, but it's nothing like the jaunt to get food here. That's the problem.
Oh, I know. Wait, should I say the name of the hotel? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we're talking.
I'm at the Luxor, and this is sort of an old school Las Vegas hotel. I get in there. There's 3 hangars for all of. I'm there for a week.
Okay.
3 hangars. Do you know how many outfits I have? I got to go out at night. Like, I got to look good, and everything's wrinkled. There's 3 hangars. And it's such an old school hotel. There's no deadbolt on the door. So
it's like a chain.
Yeah, it is. There's no chain either. It is the most bizarre hotel. I can hear everything from every neighbor. So my hotel situation isn't ideal. But that, I guess. But again, and it's raining. And so I've been a little down. But we did do one thing that is crazy cool. I'm just going to brag. Maggie and I went to an Elvis wedding.
That's what you say, yeah.
Yeah, sat in we're in the party by the end of the thing. It was awesome. So we're enjoying Vegas.
My last one. What level of you is pretending to like Nick Sirianni?
I can't even do. You have no idea. I'm sure you guys like this. My phone, I'm on 3 Eagles text threads and about 4 Sixers text threads. They hate Nick Sirianni so much. Every friend I know wants him gone and doesn't understand it. But we all did not like Sean Desai and Brian Johnson the way they were running it. So it's just an odd marriage. Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, and Kellen Moore.
Strangest.
It's Three's Company. My
and Howie Roseman too.
My take forever was, remember when he used to have the visor with the highlighter?
Yeah.
My take at the time was he wanted Philadelphians to dress like him for Halloween. he so wanted to be like a local legend, and have people like getting that up and like a clipboard walking around on Halloween. That's the kind of guy he is.
Run the ball.
Can I tell you my quick San Antonio?
Yes, of course.
So you have to have takes in the sports radio industry. I went all in. Victor Wembanyama's not going to be good. He's a bust. It's all hype. I bet someone I will drive to San Antonio if he wins Rookie of the Year. That bet is still on.
Well, we'll see in June, I guess.
Well, there's a young man named Chet Holmgren who is my last hope. But to be honest, I actually love San Antonio. I love the food there, so I kind of want to drive to San Antonio.
Come see us. We would love to have
a
tour guide.
I got a great breakfast taco place, which I'm sure you guys have a wedding. But and then so I made the bet, and then I said, yeah, there's great breakfast tacos in San Antonio. All stuck in New York. For some reason, we don't have good breakfast tacos in New York. So I'm actually kind of rooting for Wendy.
As we are for you to come down as well.
I would love it.
Andrew Perloff, CBS Sports, right here. Thanks for stopping by, my friend.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it, Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew Perloff, right here. We got so much more for you. This is going to be a great day here in the huddle. So stay calm. We're going to call a play and get things busy.
Also, if you want to see that interview, as we mentioned, you can go to the SA Sports Star YouTube channel, and you can see us talking to Andrew and actually see he that wasn't made up. What he doubted Wemby. That's okay. You know, everybody makes a mistake once
he pays the price. No, I wonder what taco place was his. I wasn't gonna, because I don't know if he does he know what good breakfast tacos are? I don't want to defame any brand in San Antonio, but he might be thinking of something that's kind of like, we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
He look, we know that he's a Philadelphian at heart.
See, there we go.
We know that he prefers Chet Holmgren. We know that he doubted Wemby in general. So perhaps his breakfast taco, preferred.
He might have gone through like Taco Cabana, which is acceptable.
Wow.
I'm not saying that's bad.
You almost went through without hating on anybody. Wow.
I'm not saying it's bad. It is an acceptable alternative if there is none.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
How dare you?
So maybe
everybody has their place and their moment.
Yeah, there's a proper time and place for all things, much like us. And our next place is in a break. We got to pay for this fantastic road show. As the day prolongs, we got a lot to do. Mike Smith, he'll be around the corner at 6:45. But first, when we come back, did you get the news? Better download, check your streaming services because there's a new app coming in and it's got all the toys. It won't change much yet, but we'll see what happens. ESPN, Fox, and all the other RSNs in one little easy place. We're talking about next. This is the Huddle in your 94.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is day 3 of Radio Row Super Bowl coverage from Las Vegas, and we got a moose sighting. Daryl Johnston. He will be our guest right here on Radio Row.
Plus, we will talk with Ed McCaffrey. He's got a kid playing on Sunday. You've probably heard of him. Chris Myers will join us. So will Joe Cardona. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
The venue's set.
families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy. Visit hims.com/joy.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's Rob and RJ, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Hey, huddle up on us. We got something to talk about. That's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. Met a lot of your cohorts last night at SB Nation at the party. Fine folks they all. I don't know how you managed to get in with that crew.
What are you talking about?
Did you not have a when you interviewed, auditioned for the SB Nation gig? Did you not meet face to face? Because that's a fine looking crew over there.
No,
good people, good folks.
Although the people who I saw last night, that I introduced you to, I had met 3 of the 4 in person before.
Oh, no, 4. Such is life right now, right?
Yeah, but so there was a 4th. My buddy JP He and I do a podcast together every Monday.
And he is with
he writes for SBNation.com.
But does he have a special, like a team centric, or is he just nationwide?
No, he and Mark Schofield, who's hung out with us here, they are our premier writers at SBNation.com.
Oh, okay.
Now they have, JP's really great at some football things. Mark does F1. Like they both have a lot of things.
Yeah.
But by the way, we saw a vehicle. We were literally at the Grand Prix at the site. We were literally where the Las Vegas Grand Prix was.
I actually went to the finish line and kissed the ground.
Well, it's not the Indy 500. That's NASCAR. It's a whole different sport. That was stupid. That made no sense. Why would you do that?
I was told.
Okay, but like what you're saying is like
everybody kisses the finish line.
No, that would be like I took a drink out of the Lombardi Trophy. It's not the Stanley Cup. Like, you know what I mean? Like you did something.
You took a drink out of the Lombardi. How'd you manage that?
I didn't. I wouldn't do that because that wouldn't make sense. That you're saying that you did the equivalent of that.
I didn't find the finish line. I thought I would like to have taken a photo there. Until you actually go to a racetrack, you don't realize the immensity.
This was sick, and it's kind of like crazy to think about. Like they built this whole thing for like usage 1 week out of the year. Yeah, but it was cool.
Yeah, I got a little room out here.
Either way, it was cool to catch up with the SB Nation crew, the SB Nation gang.
Yeah, it was a good group of guys. Great party. Too bad we couldn't stay, but we had enough to talk about. But in the meantime, news broke yesterday that is going to affect your future. I don't know how you consume your sports, whether it's over the air, on your phone, on your devices, or probably an amalgam of all of them, like all of us. It's going to all appear to land in one spot in the near future as all the big hitters have come together to form one conglomerate app for all you sports fans. ESPN, Fox, all the RSNs, TNT, TBS, they are there. It is one.
The conference networks.
All the RSNs, the conferences, the Big 12, SEC, all will be in one place to land, which, one tap, right? One bill, right?
You would think, and as it stands, ESPN, Hulu, and Disney have a bundle. So this is really just adding Fox.
So we're going to have to go through Max and balance one from the other. But we'll get into it. But we do. I see Mike Smith on the way. Really? He is the former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, good friend of the show. We get a chance to catch up with a head football coach in this NFL world, and that's always a pleasure. You're going to enjoy him. Mike's a good dude. He's just around the corner. Hang on tight. Mike Smith of the NFL in lots of different ways. Coming here next. This is The Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. Stay here.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt! Yeah!
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Now, during Staples Print Big Sale, get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. So the more you print at Staples, the more you save. To demonstrate, print at Staples, you save. But if you print at Staples, you save. See how that works? Staples Print Big Sale. Print more, save more, up to $100. Ends 2/10. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, everybody, huddle up on us. This is the Morning Huddle. We promised him to you. Here he is. He is the head coach, former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Super Bowl champion. Mike Smith is sitting with us. When we get to see coaches come and sit down, I love the way that people treat you. When you walk and you sit and former players and coaches see you, there's this brotherhood amongst guys that have been in the battles that you just, I wouldn't even know if you were a head coach before, but if I saw you standing in the line, the way that people walk up and treat former head coaches, there's something to that. You enjoy it?
Well, football has been something that I've done forever. And there's a kinship, there's a fraternity, and it's not just at the national football level in the NFL, it's at all levels. I mean, guys that I've played high school ball, right? When we get together, it's, hey, you remember against Crescent City, it's third down. We have those conversations. I mean, and then you sit that's at the bar. Then you go home and you haven't seen the parent and. Do you remember I used to drive you to?
Right.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful.
We get lost in the professionalism
Yes.
of the job of football and forget this is a game played by guys that enjoy each other's company to go out and do something special.
Absolutely, and come together as a unit and go out and perform and do the best that they possibly can. And we're getting to see it at the highest level here in Las Vegas here at the end of the week.
I find this to be true in my life. It's just somebody who covers football, so I can only imagine it's true tenfold for you. My wife knows we can't travel certain months. We can't do this. My son, I cover the Dallas Cowboys. He was born the night before Thanksgiving. Super inconvenient. You know what I mean?
But you were there, right?
I of course I was there, but covered the game in the hospital. But that being said, I mean, is that your life? I mean, you're coming to Radio Row every year. I mean, you kind of structure your life around football season.
Still do.
So you're about to start the off season then.
Yes, the off season is upon us. Now, I don't work as hard as I used to work, but I still enjoy the season, and it has to do not only with the X's and O's, but it's the kinship. I mean, the conversations that take place all across the world now, not just in our country, all across the world on Friday morning after a Thursday night game, Monday morning. And you get Monday is my favorite because you talk about what happened on Sunday, but then you still got
one
Monday,
more.
You got one more, and it's usually a pretty good one. You know,
You're describing our lives as talk radio hosts. That is our calendar for sure.
Absolutely. And when you've been in it for as long as we have, it doesn't change. There's certain things that my wife knows on a Monday or a Saturday I'm going to do.
As we all do.
Coach, so I was thinking about something. We're scheduled to talk to Matt Ryan later in the day. In a little bit, I'd like to know something you think we should ask him. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I was thinking about this. Matt's first career pass, Michael Turner, I'm going to say like 76-yard touchdown. That had to just be the coolest thing ever, like for you all to experience.
Well, it was, but it was to Michael Jenkins.
I was very close.
Yeah, you had the Michael.
15 years ago.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, it was his first
career pass.
Career pass. And it's funny, Mike Mularkey was our offensive coordinator, and we kind of had a pretty good idea. And Matt executed. we got the coverage that we thought we were going to get, and Matt executed it. And I mean, what a way to start your career. And I'll never forget the excitement on that sideline, not only from Matt Ryan, but from everybody, from the people that taped the ankles to the people that put on the chin straps and got the helmets all lined up. We're so excited about Matt Ryan's first professional throw. And Matt is a wonderful, wonderful person, and he's a hell of a football player. Hell of a football player. And anything that he does after football won't surprise me because he's very, very talented.
Mike Smith, a former head coach in the NFL with the Falcons, AP Coach of the Year back in 2008. The witchcraft of coaching always intrigues me as we head into the Super Bowl because it's a game, just another game. You had 2 weeks to get ready for it, but all that goes into it. Coaches handle it. How do you get a feel for your team? Do you have a plan ahead of time, or do you go day by day? My team's a little hyped up. I got to bring them back. A little under. I got to bring them up. How do you handle your teams as you go through the playoffs and the prep during this run?
Well, I think different coaches have different philosophies. My philosophy was always that it doesn't matter if it's a preseason game, a regular season game, or the postseason. You're going to go through the same routine because we all feel much more comfortable when we know what to expect and that we stay on a routine. And this is just, it's not just another game, but you've got to try to make it that when we get out on that practice field, it's just like if it's a Tuesday practice, it's just like a Tuesday practice in the preseason. It's just like a Tuesday practice in the regular season. We've got to go out and prepare and do our job. And that's the way I believe you have to prepare for it. Give them a day. The first day they get in, give them a day, and then try to get back in on that routine. Now, the great thing about there's 2 weeks to prepare. Most of the preparation gess done in that week.
So now it's just install. We're just getting everything in.
We're just making sure that we all understand the game plan, and we may tweak one or two things, but the hay's in the barn when you get to the site. And the guys that are here in Las Vegas, they know it's just a little tune-up every day.
The old adage is you build your team, you construct your team to win your division. The NFC South was incredible during your time there. It featured, obviously, Drew Brees at his peak and the arrival of Cam Newton. Josh Freeman's Bucks kind of slept on. I mean, you guys at one point in time felt like had the best four quarterbacks in the NFL, certainly. Is that true that you build it to win your? I mean, because the goal is to be here, but the quickest path, easiest path to the playoffs is get that first home playoff game.
Well, the thing you have to do is there's one way to guarantee to get you in the playoffs, and that's win your division.
Right.
You don't have to rely on
so-and-so
being
exactly.
this and being a wild card. So, yes, you want to win. I think you want to build your team ultimately to win a Super Bowl, but the path is through winning your division.
So would you partially coach and philosophize and theorize? Again, you've got to do more than win, in this case, the NFC South, but would you sort of, again, structure your team in a way that specifically could take advantage of that in the hopes of obviously doing beyond that, because you do play 6 games against them?
Yes, absolutely. Every year you're going to play 6 games against your division opponents, and you know what their weaknesses are, but they know what yours are, and you want to get those 3 wins twice a year.
And if you don't, then you get into the conversation that goes on at the end of every season. You've been through it. Every head coach has. And when the seasons are over, we are very much involved with the Cowboys. We're Cowboy country. We're an affiliate. And we watch the carousel going on as we lose Dan Quinn and whether McCarthy stays or not. Do you guys reach out and talk to each other like, hey, man, everything going all right? Or is it just, it's coming, what everybody's going to deal with, and the storm will die down eventually, and you'll just move on or be praised again?
Well, it depends on the relationships that you have with the different coaches. And there's some that are you're much closer with and that you talk to on a regular basis. And yeah, definitely you reach out to those guys and you want to be supportive because it is a very, very tight community. I don't want to say fraternity. It's a community. And it's not only the coaches, it's the coaches' families. There's so much that goes on to it. And as a coach, you feel like you're, when things aren't going well, you feel like you're not only letting down your players and your team, but you're letting down the people in the building. And you've got to, you feel like you have a chance to make sure that those families and these people are all going to be okay at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, that you're carrying in the weight of fans, and again, in the case of the Falcons, a franchise that's so starved. I mean, the fact that you walk around as the winningest head coach in Atlanta Falcons history, I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, by the way, the red helmets need them. I don't know if you can talk to Mr. Blanc. I mean, but the black ones are okay, but we need the red ones all the time. Everybody loves them.
Is that right?
It's scientific fact at this point.
Is that right? Well,
we're placing it to the highest source we can.
Yeah. Well, and hey, you might want to try to run that by Matt today.
Oh yeah, we might just bring that up to Matt. He might have as much say as you.
The players, they really get superstitious about sometimes what they wear. In fact, I wish they would be a little bit more lenient with the way that you can wear those uniforms. Sometimes you pick them too far in advance, and it's like, oh boy, I wish we were in the ones that we played that good game in. Well, I'm not superstitious, but I'm gonna wear, if I can. We need to wear these.
See, it's more about the uniform. It's about the gear and the helmet and the visor and the face mask. It all has to make sense positionally, and numbers like. Didn't love Julio in 11. Roddy was a great 84, but 11 I can't get on board. I love the 80 numbers. But on the subject of gear, shoulder pads are an important thing in your life.
Yes,
it is. I'm involved with a shoulder pad company called X-Tech, and it's been around 14 years here in football. And I had an opportunity to meet Bob Broderick, and he came to Atlanta through a mutual friend, and he showed up with his car, and he had shoulder pads in the trunk.
Try them on, coach.
Yeah, that's right. Try them on. Here, let me put your hand down here. I want to hit it with the helmet. You want to do what? And I know you guys have probably seen it, and it just resonated with me about we do everything with helmet and technology and all that. We don't do it with the shoulder pads, and we need to do everything in our power, whether it's the head, the shoulders, the knees. We need to put our players in the best possible equipment, and X-Tech is. It's the number one pad in professional football. All the big-time colleges are wearing them. But to me, the thing that is I'm so excited about is X-Tech is now getting ready to come out with a youth pad
in the retail market.
Yeah. And to me, we're going to be able to get these young kids because I can remember when I played, and it was a long time ago, youth football, they weren't sizing it. It was, hey, pick your pad, pick your pad, pick your helmet, here you go. And, your pants didn't go to your knees. They went to your ankles. We need to put and have an opportunity to put all these young kids in X-Tech pads. And it's going to be out here in the next year or so. They're testing it right now. And to me, that's where our focus at X-Tech should be. It should be on the next generation of players and their safety.
You look when you think shoulder pads, there were the 80s shoulder pads that were giant that you could barely even see the helmet. They were so big, and they have gotten smaller and more mobile and more protective over the years. But there was something about the big shoulder pads that made you feel like a man. Now they're compact, usable, and last much longer than they used to.
Oh, absolutely. And the technology with the design, the technology with the actual product, the plastics that they have and the foams that they have, it's going to make the game safer. And as a coach that's gone through this change of player safety, which is a great thing, I'm on board, and all coaches are. We've got to make the game safer, and we need to start it at a very, very young.
That is former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, NFL champion Mike Smith, sitting with us right here on San Antonio Sports Star. I saw you a couple years ago standing on the sidelines of the Hula Bowl.
Yeah.
Is that a great way to scratch the itch? I mean, to go out and run a couple weeks with some superstars in college.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm 0 in the Hula Bowl, but I have a blast. It's a great opportunity. I've done it 5 times, and yes, for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm done scratching. I'm ready to go home, but I can't because the game's 2 days later.
I mean,
Fair enough.
That's being honest.
That's a man who's enjoying retirement right there.
Yeah,
just enough.
If I could just go practice 3 times, not play the game, it would be perfect.
Oh, Coach, you sound like such a coach. I'd rather practice than go get the game. It is such a pleasure. Coach Mike Smith right here on San Antonio Sports Stars. Thanks for stopping by with us.
Coach, last one for you. xtechpads.com, xtechpads on Instagram, by the way. I always wanted to know this. I'm going to ask Matt Ryan too. How often during your time will you ask for Masters tickets? That has to happen all the time if you're an Atlanta sports figure.
Absolutely. And I say, if you can get them, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a hard ask.
They must, because you must get asked more for that than anybody gets asked for anything.
The Augusta National, it's a special place, and to get an opportunity to get on it, it's fun. Hey, it's fun to be there.
And if a couple come your way, a couple guys in San Antonio would love to spend some time with you.
Actually, last thing, Coach, on the subject of pads, Michael Bennett very, very infamously would wear punter's pads because he felt like he could not get held as much, and 2012 divisional round, you guys worked out for y'all, you know what I'm saying? And they came back next year. We don't talk about that, but you persevered through his shoulder pads, and now you're making them safer. It's not about cosmetics, not about strategy. It's about safety, Michael Bennett.
It is about safety, Michael Bennett. But I will tell you this, those offensive guys, they sure do like to grab, and that's why X-Tech's design team has made it where you can't get it. If you do, the referee, the umpire, and the back judge can see the hold.
Okay, and like a true defensive coach right there. Mike Smith sitting with us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Genuine pleasure. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. You guys enjoy your time here in Vegas.
Mike Smith right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Silver and black hitting the road. We're talking Spurs and Rodeo Road Trip. Coming up next, you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown. 14
teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
What's wrong, Cupid? Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Kinetico, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Kinetico water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
Oh, rub it in, Chris. I know a Kinetico runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Kinetico has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Kinetico in San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Kinetico. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Kinetico, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
KineticoSA.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Tax day is coming.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up for Robinhood Gold's IRA with a 3% match, you can get up to $195 for the 2023 tax year.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up at Robinhood.com/boost by tax day to get the biggest contribution match on the market. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
In celebration of the 10th anniversary, Disney's Frozen is coming to podcasting with a brand new story. The Frozen podcast features Anna.
I want to know about that.
Elsa.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Olaf.
I don't get it.
And Kristoff.
Are we going on another adventure?
Oh, no.
Of course. Experience Disney Frozen Forces of Nature, available now on your favorite podcast app.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys have completed the interview process for the defensive coordinator position that is available. We will wait for Jerry's next word. The Spurs hit the road. They're in Miami. A 9-game rodeo road trip begins. And the Aggies, they hit the road to take on the Missouri Tigers, a game you can catch right here live tonight. Tip-off set for 8 here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star, with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, huddle up on us. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. RJ and Rob with you. Hump Day edition here live from Radio Row. As we are here, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bond Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds Centergenics. We are at just the beginning of what's going to be a full and exciting day. Spurs hitting the road as we sit on the road, but they're going to beautiful Miami to start a road trip. 9 games on the road, 10 wins. In the past, as we headed on out to this was the traditional bunker down, prepare yourself. These are the roles. We're headed to the playoffs. Let's get it started. That's not the case anymore. Miami does offer less of a threat than they used to. This is a team kind of in their own transition, but I don't think prospects are great tonight. I think we look at incremental growth as we begin a roadie.
It's going to be tough, to say the least. Not great to start at Miami, personally.
But historically, we're pretty good.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, right now, By the way, did you see? I saw this last night right when I was going to bed. The Bucks lost last night to the Suns, and I want to read this exactly. This was from Stat News. It was the Bucks' first loss on a Tuesday in over 1,000 days.
That is a very important stat. That is equal to or better the assist of 20.
They had won 26 straight Tuesday games. But anyway, on that kind of subject, great article in the Express News. Nick Moyle wrote it, kind of recapping or establishing where the Spurs are at as the Rodeo Road Trip begins. So from 2003 to 2017, pretty prominent stretch of time for the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs played 125 games throughout the Rodeo Road Trip and won 88 of them. Winning percentage just over 70, with a winning record in 14 of those 15 seasons throughout the road trip. So, which is why we've been kind of talking about this. Like the Rodeo Road Trip was always fun, because it was like, oh, they're gonna go kick ass and whatever, and tune themselves up and get ready for the playoffs. That has not been the case over the last few seasons. The last 5 Rodeo Road Trips have featured the Spurs playing 39 total games. How many do you think they have won in 5 years? 5 years, 39 games.
10.
It is exactly 10.
Oh, that is awful, man. That is so counter to what we believe this to be. It is truly what everybody thought it was going to be when this first started kicking in when we built that place.
Just really quickly, this is a little bit muddied because of COVID in that kind of season. But again, as far as games that are counted, 10 of 39, dude. What? How is that possible?
Well, Roddy, even good teams only hope to win half. I mean, we have to be realistic that it is the NBA.
We didn't have to be realistic before, though.
You're right. And to just win half would have been an upsetting Rodeo Road Trip just because we were accustomed to such things. But what I think feels even worse is the Rodeo Road Trip's tough on any team. 9 consecutive road games. It is broken up by the All-Star game. You do get to come home, but there's something about home cooking. Then we have added in 2 more. Or how many of the Austin games are we dealing with? The outside of San Antonio roadies that really aren't home games for anybody. So then we've got a bad team that can't win on the road, that we have taken away 2 more home cooking games or the Austin games. So we got another road issue here. So we've compounded our pain in the effort to grow the brand. And it just seems miserable now knowing the prospects of a month where any win the Spurs get for the next month will be considered an upset. They're not going to be favored in one game. Not that they're accustomed to being favored at all, but you add 2 points or 3 points, no matter what to this. This looks like they're paddling a kayak up a rapid, and it's just going to be a miserable ride.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like, there's no way of splitting this. It's going to be terrible. As far as the road trip is concerned, though, specifically the 9 games, you mentioned being, underdogs or whatever. Find the win, okay? Just generally at Miami,
no.
At Orlando,
no.
At Brooklyn, no.
That's the city.
Maybe.
What's how long before we play Brooklyn were we off?
Do you get 2 days?
2 days. So I'm going to put that as a possible.
At Orlando tomorrow and at Brooklyn on Saturday.
I'm going to put the Brooklyn as a possible.
At Toronto on Monday.
I know.
At Dallas.
No.
At the Kings.
No.
At the Lakers.
No.
At the Jazz.
No.
At
Jazz is possible.
At the T-Wolves.
Dude, that's the best win of the year. There's some revenge coming. That ain't going to happen.
So maybe, maybe 2 games.
If they fall ass backwards and find some luck.
Tonight, obviously, the game that begins the Rodeo Road Trip at Miami. What do you think the line is?
Last I saw it was 8.5.
We had talked when it was 9.5. Would you take them at double digits? It's down to 8. Down.
Well, I discount the fact that they have had some days of practice, and anybody who follows the Spurs closely and is playing a Prize Picks app, I would pick the over in a lot of things, because one thing I do know about Pop and his team is they do execute after a good couple of days of practice. So I do think they're going to come out ready to go, knowing full well that, you dive into the pool, you swim real hard, and then you float. So you might as well start this thing with a win so you can get one under your belt. I think they're coming for bear. And if they can, they're certainly bigger than Miami. So I do think that there's some opportunity, but I'd take the Spurs anything under 13.
I don't think so. I do want to address 2 things in the Brigade Bar. Cougs, we see you, Cougs, says Brooklyn is definitely a maybe. Toronto, too.
Yeah, Toronto is.
Sure. So that's the first thing. But I do want to also touch on, Claymore said, if we're going to tune in, it's a courtesy explanation on the lack of video. So
yes,
we saw you.
We owe you this.
We saw you talking about this in the chat. By the way, and this literal conversation is accessible on our website, sasportstar.com. Every day we talk silver and black in our podcast. You can go check that out. You can also watch this specific segment on our YouTube channel. Go to the SA Sports Star YouTube channel, subscribe, like, Noti Gang, turn on the notifications, et cetera, et cetera. The reality of this situation is we're not in the studio, we're on the road, so there are some technical difficulties, what with curating this, that, and the other. So all of these interviews that Rob and I are doing
are on video
on the Morning Huddle are on video. If you are on our YouTube channel, you could stay watching the show live. But if you just go to our channel, you can see the video. So if you go there right now, you will see the interviews that we have had so far while we've been here in Las Vegas. Brian Billick, and then this morning we had Andrew Perloff and Mike Smith.
And everything else we do.
Right. And every interview that Rob and I have will be available on the YouTube channel as its own standalone video. It won't be part of the stream because of the technical difficulties involved with everything. But if you go to the YouTube channel, you can find those videos. You can watch those conversations. Apologies for having to take those few teeny tiny extra steps. But that's the best way that we can get everything together without blowing up the universe.
And it's worth seeing RJ. That alone is worth the effort.
That's true. And you can see all the guests.
Predictions, I do think 1-2 wins, and we'll find one because I do know they're capable of it. There's teams that they match up well against on this road. There's opportunities for Victor to show versus guys of his height and smaller. There's some opportunity with teams that don't play very good defense. So I do think there's an opportunity because we have seen them play well enough to be contention. I will also predict there will be 2 wins. We'll find it.
I don't think so.
I do, but above and beyond that, when we do finally see them in home brown.
Let's for a second. I was so
Can you imagine that I just said that? When they're home in their brown and pink. I think during this little roadie, and when they fly home for the All-Star break and Victor grabs his All-Star garb, this team is going to be different. We got a couple of days. The trade deadline tomorrow.
Who's right now? Give me one name that's not on the Spurs on Friday.
I would be shocked that if Cedi Osman is still a Spur,
that's your
it's
one?
Because they did not get a good enough offer. I know in their minds. I know that he is a needed and valued commodity on a couple of teams that need that for the push. He's worthwhile price-wise, contract-wise. McDermott also offers a service that I think a lot of teams are looking for. So I'd be rather surprised if something like that doesn't happen. But and I'm not. But my expectations of the Spurs making a move right now would be, it would be.
Well, bringing someone in is what
making
a
deal that would, just because Chetty's gone doesn't mean something coming back. It could be draft picks. It could be some other stuff. But I do think
cash
now
considerations,
whatever it takes. But I don't hold out hope that. I'd say it's 30% that it'll happen. But I do think that there's teams that are going to be calling over the next 24, 48 hours.
I do think the most likely trade involves Chetty being freed, finding a new home.
Mm-hmm.
But by the way, Brian in the Brigade Bar says Pop should be held accountable for not handing Wemby the balls for the final 7 minutes. That is those are the 7 minutes from hell. I have not seen people obsessed, and some of it's been the little break before the Rodeo Road Trip, but people are really and there's been a game since then that those 7 minutes are really kind of trapping, rightfully so, Spurs fans right now.
It encapsulates the season. And I think everybody who saw it realized it, including the coach. And I think the players involved realized post-game that kind of summed up a lot of stuff that they're dealing with. And maybe that's a cure from the Rodeo Road Trip. One of those things where it is truly the San Antonio against everybody. And maybe that'll kind of lend more of a sharing environment, a Batman and Robin-esque, where you figure out which cape you got on.
I don't think Robin.
You don't want to wear
cape.
somebody else's cape. Did you ever put on a misfitting cape?
I never have.
Well, I speak from experience, and a misfitting cape chafes.
I hope that our next guest has a cape.
His name is Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
And he's in the sports world.
We could do it that way. We could just be like, there's a Mike McCarthy. We're about to speak to
We're
Mike
about
McCarthy.
to, and I say that in all truthful and honesty. Mike McCarthy will join us next, and we will talk football with Mike McCarthy.
Keep it going.
He is a knowledgeable sort of good guy.
We'll talk Dallas Cowboys.
He is still, and I didn't think he was going to be unemployed, but he's still employed with his previous employer, his current employer.
Right.
You never know what the last season did. Mike McCarthy, yes, that McCarthy to the McCarthy family is coming next. And you're going to have to. If you want to see him, what do you got to do?
So if you want to watch the interview, after you're done watching the Blitz or at the same time, new screen, go to our YouTube channel and you will see it will be labeled Mike McCarthy, The Morning Huddle, San Antonio Sports Star, all of our interviews this week populating there individually.
There they are. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're heading out this weekend before the big game, head over to SA Card House. February is a month of giving. It's a month of caring, a month of love. And let me tell you, SA Card House has it taken care of in a lot of different ways. They've got a Bad Beat NLH tournament going on all week, all month long. Aces full or kings are better. $5,000 Bad Beat table distribution. Lots of money to be won just for being there. Loser of the hand, 40%. See the place for all the rules, but it's a great way to have some good times. And hey, sometimes love doesn't go well. And maybe you can pull something out that way. Love it or risk it all month long. 696 total hourly drawings. One of those deals. Just be there to have fun and play. And this is one of those bonuses for being a member at SA Card House. Don't forget about Foster's Grill. It is posh nosh, not pub grub. It is outstanding food. You got chef quality cuisine coming out, whether you're playing or whether you're there for a good lunch or good breakfast or a good dinner. That's SA Card House. It's at 281 in Bitters. Go where the cool kids are. That's SA Card House. It is the next level in cards in San Antonio. Go find out for yourself. And while you're there, $350, $100 cash prizes up to $35,000 all month long. That's February. That's SA Card House. I'll see you there. Go play some cards. Thank me later.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip!
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin RJ and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Yeah,
woo!
I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We are down to the big game in the football season, and you could still play along at Underdog Fantasy. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they will go higher or lower their predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly makes watching the games a lot more fun. Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100 and you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pickup higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick'em entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
After years of discomfort, it's like I'm alive again.
Sonia Hackett talks about how QC Kinetics changed her life.
QC Kinetics has given me my quality of life back.
Before QC Kinetics, Sonia suffered from horrible knee and back pain stemming from a car accident.
I was wearing knee braces just to try to maneuver around.
Sonia hated the idea of pain meds, and surgery seemed too risky, so she turned to the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, the leaders in advanced regenerative medicine.
That consultation just changed my life. I can do the treadmill, everything. I don't have anything holding me back. The quality of life is pain-free. QC Kinetics has made us very happy.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
I'm going to get emotional again. They are like family members to me. They care.
Call QC Kinetics now.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now let's hear what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policies. Oh, what is that? That's just my tail. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects. There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still my tail.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older, or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it is Huddle Up. It is time for the morning huddle. We promised him to you. He is coming. That's RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson. You are on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Mike McCarthy with us with Front Office Sports sitting down with us. If you aren't aware of what Front Office Sports is, it is kind of the business side of sports. And it is a must read for everybody in my line of work every morning. It is the first email I open up every morning. Right?
Thank you so much, Rob.
It is really kind of part and parcel to what we're doing. And as you come as a senior reporter there, tell me about the business of not NFL, but the Super Bowl.
Well, the Super Bowl is annually the most watched TV event of the year. Last year, it set a record with 115.1 million viewers. And what it is, it's really the last thing that we all share together. Everybody is fragmented in culture, but Super Bowl Sunday, everybody sits down to watch a game. And Super Bowl Sunday, everybody watches the commercials.
And as that has becoming, what I'm getting at is the commercials seem to be fading. And we know what the Super Bowl is and what the NFL is. Why does the league feel like we're going to have to start paying for games after they? I mean, why are we having to go through? I feel like it's coming quicker than we expect.
I am so against this, Rob. You got to dance with the girl you brung. The NFL has based its popularity on decades of free over-the-air TV. They were the only ones, Rob, that didn't go to cable, that didn't put their games behind a paywall. And you know what? It worked. They blew past Major League Baseball. They blew past boxing. They blew past horse racing. And they became the number one sports. Now they're going to put games behind a paywall? I think when they put that game beyond the Peacock paywall, I think they were crossing a Rubicon. I think within 10 years, we're going to see a pay-per-view Super Bowl or at least a pay Super Bowl behind a streaming platform.
So
my question, this whole Peacock fiasco has sort of been there seems to be like Amazon has had Thursday Night Football for 2 years and nobody cared about that. I mean, it's a streaming service. I mean, I know that they're locally streamed or locally available in the markets where the games are taking place, but like that's an entire package of games that is, and nobody offers any opinion on that.
Yeah. It's incremental, RJ.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how they get you. They do it step by step by step. I think Amazon is a little bit different because Amazon literally has, 300 million Amazon Prime customers around the world and, 150 million in the so people like me, we just take Amazon for granted. But here's the next step. Thursday Night Football is the worst game of the week.
Sure.
The worst package.
As opposed to a playoff game.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you put a Chiefs game behind a paywall. Patrick Mahomes, the defending Super Bowl champions. That's totally different.
They were on the first Amazon game. The very first one was the Chiefs, and although they weren't defending champions at the time, to your point. That's so interesting. And you mentioned baseball and obviously other sports. We're San Antonio, so we're Bally, Amazon Prime. There's the whole situation.
The RSNs.
Do you think? I know we're here to talk football, but out of curiosity, do you think we are headed towards a world where, hey, Mike, you're a Knicks fan, you could buy your Knicks package, and that's it with this app, whatever it is, whether it's Amazon Prime or Bally or whatever the case may be. Like, is that a future in our sites?
I really believe that, RJ. I think these streamers are going to cut out the middlemen, and the middlemen are the regional sports networks and the diamond sports groups and all these bankrupt companies, and you're going to get it directly through them. The future is personalization. You want to get the Lakers game.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want the whole package. I just want to see the Knicks and the Lakers. You'll be able to buy that. And, is it a good thing for the consumer? Look, choice is always good. But I know, because I cover this business, that I'm paying twice as much than I used to for my old cable bundle. I got so many streaming services now, I don't even know what to do with them. My wife wants this one for the Hunger Games. My daughter wants this one for Disney. My son wants HBO Max. You know what I mean? I have to have I'm paying 2 or 3 times what I used to pay for my cable bundle.
Right.
We're looking for your insight on a lot of different things. And forgive us for bouncing around on subject. We're joined by Mike McCarthy. He's a senior reporter for Front Office Sports. Over the last couple of days, the announcement from FIFA about who's going to be hosting the games. Jerry Jones thought Jerry would host the championship game. It's going to end up in New York. But what I thought was interesting coming out of this was the stadiums themselves are going to lose that sponsorship side of things to FIFA. So not AT&T Stadium, but Dallas Stadium, and not up in East Rutherford, New York Stadium. What's the business process behind that, and how do you get AT&T off the side of the building during this week of the biggest thing that stadium's ever hosted at a FIFA game?
Well, FIFA is almost a racket. They are, the most stringent when it comes to rights fees, royalties, sponsorships. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if you guys have ever gone overseas to cover an Olympic game. They control everything. They make this look like chaos, like anarchy. So I don't, it doesn't surprise me. I personally don't think, and this is coming as a New Yorker, I personally don't think MetLife is a good site. I think it's a lousy stadium. I think it was the worst $2 billion ever spent. I think it's a dump. And I would have preferred to have seen it at Jerry's World, quite frankly.
So, I mean, it's fascinating that they could just defy sponsorships, though. I mean, like that something like that could happen. And forgive me, but like I think a lot of has that happened in previous World Cups? Like, do they strip? Because I don't know that. Obviously, I'm not as intimately aware of what other nations, other
how
venues.
They name their stadiums.
I mean, and they build stadiums for World Cup, so maybe that's the workaround that they kind of usually prefer.
There's nothing more powerful in sports globally than the 5 rings. They can do whatever they want. I'll give you a perfect example. I did a story about a snowboarder, Giulia Marino, who had a sponsorship from Prada, the Italian fashion thing. Now, Prada was an official sponsor. They made her rub over the Prada name on her snowboard with a magic marker so it couldn't be seen. And it led to an injury because, these things are so finely tuned.
Right.
It slowed down a board. She had to withdraw from the Olympics. But that's all they care about.
That is unbelievable. As we come into an Olympic year, it does kind of signify where we're headed with the dollar amount. Yeah. And as we're talking about international sports and the Olympics coming up this summer, the NFL spreading to South America and heading into Europe, more into Germany. Are we looking at an international arms race between the Premier League soccer and the NFL as a chase to conquer what's left of the sporting universe?
I really think we are. I mean, the NFL hates to fail. And the only place the NFL has ever failed is internationally. remember 20 years ago, the NFL Europe and all that went bust? I think in 5 years, you're going to see an NFL Europe division. You're going to see teams in London, Frankfurt, Munich. I think they're going to get their own TV package, which the NFL is going to sell because the NFL always figures out another way to make money. You're going to see teams in Mexico City. I really think that their total focus now is international expansion, not domestic, especially because LA has been filled with 2 teams.
So I have a different, again, Rob, apologize. All over the map.
Scattered.
These are fascinating questions that most people can't answer except for you. Maybe this is a little bit outside of the proper wheelhouse, but NFL Plus, the NFL streaming service, seems like a bit of a not overwhelming success, to be kind. It's supposed to offer NFL Game Pass, which historically has been really poor. As an example, Major League Baseball's, game, I don't forget the exact name, MLB TV or whatever it is. That is an amazing service. I mean, like the way you can search plays and things like that, all from within their app, is so highly functional. And I think people look at the NFL as this multi-billion-dollar entity. NFL now failed, and now they're trying NFL Plus. Like, why can't they get this right? I mean, it's just technology at this point in time.
That's an amazing question, and I've asked it myself. I think after a while, you start banging your head against the door and you give up. And that's where I think these NFL ESPN talks are coming in, Rob. ESPN is talking about selling part of its, or I should say the Walt Disney Company is thinking about selling an equity stake in ESPN to the NFL. If that happens, then ESPN and the NFL will start working together on the networks, on the apps, and there's nobody better to work with, as we all know in that situation, than ESPN. So problem solved.
How is that possible? Like, and how does that become like? Are there channels? Channels feels like a loose way to put it, but like, are their talent the same? Are they coworkers? I always find that interesting. I think it was might have been the Munich game that Rich Eisen and Dan Orlovsky did together. So it's like, how do you just justify and that's cool, but like they don't work for the same company, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I've got 3 words: conflict of interest. How is the ESPN, the Adam Schefters, going to cover a league that, they're effectively work for?
Right.
And there's all sorts of conflict of interest questions around it. But basically, this is the NFL's world and we're all living in it. They make up their own rules. Like when they did this about face on gambling, right? Remember for 20 years, gambling was the scourge of the NFL. Oh, we can't do gambling. They didn't hire, they didn't sign 1 sponsor. They signed 3. And they called it tri-exclusive. What is a tri-exclusive sponsorship? I've never heard of that.
Well, they wouldn't
make up the rules.
They wouldn't let Tony Romo have a fantasy football convention here, and now he gets to call the the irony of all that he would be the color analyst on the job. This particular week, it really is. I mean, driving around to media night, Monday night, the fact that they literally built a palace to football in the city. I mean, on the taboo land and dirt. Yeah. It's just incredible, like that this exists now.
Yeah. We just did an interview with Brent Musburger, who had the most amazing stories, getting punched out by Jimmy the Greek and all that crazy stuff in the 70s. But you remember back in 1975, Rob, when you and I were watching the NFL Today, they had a speaking code.
Yes, it was Jimmy the Greek talking about the over and unders. Well, I like them not to score much today. And I'm 8, 9, 10 years old listening to the code. Like, are they going to win? What exactly does that mean? Because everybody's happy and they lost, but they're talking lines with Phyllis George way back then.
What happened is Rozelle went to the Greek and Musburger, their producer, said, I do not want you to quote the point spreads. Now, when the NFL commissioner is asking you a favor, you do it, right? So they had to come up with another way to do it. So what would happen is, Brent would say, hey, Greek, what do you think of the Redskins Cowboys? And, he would say, I think it's going to be 33-21. And now if the spread was 5 points, you know who the Greek is picking. And it's laughable now, when you see these point spreads scrolling across the bottom of ESPN, but that's the way it was back then.
We had another writer on with The Athletic talking a little bit about, I'm not saying that the NFL is being duplicitous and Goodell in particular, but we do know what he said and what he's saying now. Right. And a question was asked, obviously we're able to, and we hear a lot about the players who are gambling inappropriately in the wrong places and things like that, but we don't hear about coaches and administrators and staff that have gotten in trouble as well. And he mentioned a number of 25 players or staff members that have been disciplined. I don't know how we take that from there. Is that someplace that we should really be paying a little bit more attention to as far as transparency from the league?
My ears are open this week. Joe Buck said he's not coming to Las Vegas this week. And he said the reason is something's going to happen. And he says it's Vegas. Something's going to happen. somebody's going to get caught doing something. Somebody's going to get arrested. Somebody's going to get caught betting. It's going to be, it's just inevitable. And I think it's inevitable that 25 figure is going to go way up by the end of this week.
Super wide-ranging question. But again, more than everything in this capacity. What is the untapped area of the NFL? I mean, for a corporation that gets every drop out of the orange, so to speak, like what are they not doing that the Premier League's doing? What are they not doing, properly that they're missing? The low-hanging fruit they're not plucking.
Women and kids, which is why the Taylor Swift thing is so lucky.
Well, and Kyle Juszczyk's wife just like fell in their laps, right.
I mean, I've talked to the various leagues. The NHL is like, good God, why couldn't she date a hockey player? Why does the NFL get this gift from the gods just dropped into their laps? But I also think that, they're making a lot of smart moves to attract kids. You're going to see the first old cast of a Super Bowl, Nickelodeon, the Slime-filled game. And I thought that Disney Toy Story cast was fantastic. Now, you better believe that Disney's got about 1 million properties that would be perfect for a kids cast. So I think the untapped potential for the NFL are, female fans and kids.
And I know the flag football is more about injuries and getting guys just to show up for Orlando, but it does feed that narrative as well, and getting the kids involved in the game.
Yeah, particularly, young girls. They want young girls playing football. They want them to become football fans. And, and Taylor Swift, I've looked at the ratings. She has definitely caused a bump. There's been a Swift effect. There's no doubt about it.
It's really fascinating. I mean, you would think that nothing can elevate the Super Bowl, but I mean, it's really a testament to her individual influence that she's able to do that.
Yeah.
And it lends itself to that narrative that this is all manufactured and fabricated because, my goodness, how perfect. What's our primary market issue? Women and children, women and young girls. Well, how about Swifty showing up to a Kansas City game?
To your point, I mean, the NFL does an incredible job of just taking free content and leaning into it. Everybody joked about the script. Okay, we're just going to make a commercial about the script, and it's going to be all anybody wants to talk about. And so I would not doubt that they lean into the Taylor Swift narrative of it all, even more than they're already doing.
Yeah, they should. You know what I mean? I mean, I think people who are worried about Taylor Swift fans rooting for the NFL, come on. It's supposed to be a game shared by everybody. And, if women are becoming football fans, I think that's great. To me, the NFL is the unofficial religion. And Super Bowl is the unofficial national holiday. So, we should all share it. Enjoy it.
He is Mike McCarthy. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you enjoyed this, first of all, like and subscribe to what we're doing right now. But more importantly, make sure you're getting that front office sports delivered to you every day, because if you're a true sports fan, you got to understand the money behind it, because that is really why things are moving in the ways that they're moving. And FOS is by far the best out there, without hesitation. Mike, thanks for all that you do for us all year long as a radio host. You provide invaluable information.
Thank you so much, and appreciate the invite.
How often does the Mike McCarthy thing happen?
We're going to lean into that one.
How often do I write?
No. How often do you get the Mike McCarthy thing? You got to get some weird emails and things from time to time.
Let's say about 10 to 100 a week.
Okay,
depending on whether the Cowboys win or lose.
Interesting.
If they lost, I get you're the worst game manager of all time. You stink as a coach. They should fire you. Blah blah blah. Sometimes I even answer them, and that really freaks them out.
Well, a pretty good time till the middle of December. October, November, pretty good months for Mike McCarthy.
They're like Mike McCarthy answered me.
Yeah, well done.
Well, follow him. Make sure you're reading FOS. And as always, Mike, it's always great seeing you at the Super Bowl. It's one of the genuine reasons we love coming down. Have a great week. Mike McCarthy right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Yet another week and another Mike McCarthy. Got a lot to talk about. It is Wednesday here at the big game, and last night did prove to be exciting. Things going around the media row, and a little bit of history lesson as we sit in the midst of the biggest media gathering on the planet as we sit right now. This is 94.1, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is day 3 of Radio Row, Super Bowl coverage from Las Vegas, and we got a moose sighting. Daryl Johnston. He will be our guest right here on Radio Row.
Plus, we will talk with Ed McCaffrey. He's got a kid playing on Sunday. You've probably heard of him. Chris Myers will join us. So will Joe Cardona. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. It's where I go to get my poker on. They're over at 281 in Bitters, 13400 San Pedro Avenue if you are going to be using the map services. Easy to get to, open 7 days a week. Everything that I've been looking for. Look, I've played poker for years, and card houses have been a great experience, but let me tell you, you want to talk about next level, it's SA Card House, because they've got everything that I want. I'm not just a casual player. I like to play, but I like to play with folks I like. I like to be in an environment that I feel comfortable, enjoy the people around, the service and all that goes around that. I get all of that. And then you add in Foster's Grill, which takes SA Card House over the top. They have the opportunity, you have the opportunity to go play great cards in a great environment, a great place, and then add in a great meal made by worthy chefs. It is not pub grub. This is posh nosh. That's SA Card House. Games to be played, fun to be had. Go there today and thank me later.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the all-new TaylorMade QI10 Max Driver, combining TaylorMade distance with the forgiveness of 10K inertia. Experience your drives in 10K. Visit us in-store for a free custom fitting at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients for 30 years. I've kept every client I've ever had, represent their family and friends, because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
At Target, our aisles tell stories of everyday Black joy. The same joy that can be found in our new Black History Month collection. Like feeling empowered with the teas and mugs from legendary Roots. Or seeing the beauty of Black culture through the art of Winnie Weston. Bring more Black joy to your day with an affordable collection that embraces it. Available now at target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
KFC's new smashed potato bowl is out here looking like an absolute snack. For just $3.49, you get crispy secret recipe fries topped with creamy mashed potatoes, cheese sauce, bacon crumbles, and even more melty cheese. If you're looking to smash your hunger, grab KFC's new smashed potato bowl for just $3.49. For a little extra, add nuggets to the mix. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. We have got a great lineup for you as we continue our Radio Row coverage here from Las Vegas. Daryl the Moose Johnston will join us. Ed McCaffrey, he might talk about his son. He's playing in that big game on Sunday. Chris Myers walks by, as well as does Joe Cardona. Rob, are these readers breeding? There's more every day. Hey, huddle up.
Huddle up on us. We got something to talk about. He's RJ Brown, the nearsighted professor.
My gosh,
yeah, there are. I leave them here because, Rob, I'm always looking for them.
Why do you need so many?
Because I'm always looking for them.
Why don't you
I just leave a trail of readers.
Why don't you get the thing that Greg Shelton has?
Because, see, I was just about to put on another pair of readers over my readers.
I thought you were doing that as a bit.
I can't fund my glasses.
Yeah, there are at least, no joke, 6 pairs of readers that Rob has that are all throughout. They're like cockroaches.
Well, I have this terrible fear of getting someplace and not being able to see something, so I just kind of leave them wherever they may be. And then I have my monocle.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's not a monocle, but it's a modern day. This is yet another reason why you need to be following our YouTube channel. See, check this out. If I'm really in a pinch, I have this, and they.
So that is small enough. Why don't you keep that in your pocket?
I normally do.
Okay,
but that's where I put them today. They're just in a pocket near me. But yeah, I keep all these around.
Okay, all right. Well,
it'll come, my brother. Eventually, you'll identify.
You'll identify.
That's how it goes. Although I'm normally on days like this, I'm much more hungover. I was going to try to dance around it, but this year I've been so adult. Although we did go to the media party last night and get to partake in what was what you would expect from a Vegas party. But it was such a weird. The thing about Vegas, I think a lot of us expected this to be, I don't know, a little bit like tighter. It's not that the events are bad. It's just that, the way that they're put together seems a little loose. Like, they're so accustomed to putting on huge events that, Super Bowl's in town. It doesn't feel like when we would land in Minnesota, in Minneapolis.
It was like, we've been here for 6 months.
To a man, they were ready. They were ready to help. They were waiting on us. It was important. It mattered. Here, Super Bowl.
So yesterday, after our show and after we worked double overtime, we went to shop, right? Get some souvenirs. And not complaining. Again, I know that we've prefaced that, really just informing. So we walked a lot to get to where this supposedly was, and we had to go through several hoops, despite the fact that we have accreditation. And we walked through what is the Super Bowl experience. And if you haven't been, they have, it's a massive pantheon of
show,
yeah, they've got all sorts of exhibits, and you can throw footballs, and you can do this, and the shop is obviously in there. So Rob and I are walking through, and I would have thought this was like mid-November. They were literally in construction.
How could you not be ready?
There were literal crates that they were taking the exhibits out of and setting up yesterday in the middle of the day on the Tuesday before the game. And then we went to the shop, and this might have been a user error, but it looked like it wasn't ready. And apparently
I got the sense that they found some stuff. We still need to do our shopping. We still owe you a fair amount of guests. Hey, coming up, we've got one of our favorite writers in all of the sporting world. Her name is Kalyn Kahler. She works with The Athletic. She'll be here at 8:30 on the other side of this spectacular break. Well, the interviews are done. We're just waiting on the news. Let's talk about them Cowboys and their search for the next defensive coordinator. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury protection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code Alamo. That's Alamo on Prize Picks for your first deposit. They'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
What's wrong, Cupid? Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid. You don't say. Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick. Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow. Oh, Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Connecticut. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys continue their search for a defensive coordinator. It appears the interviews are complete. We await word from Jerry Jones. The Spurs, the Rodeo Road Trip is upon us. That manure smell you get down at the Frost Center, that'll actually be because of the cows and not the game. The Spurs in Miami tonight. A late tip. Aggies hit the road against Missouri. You catch it live right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Wembanyama three. Good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, huddle up on us. We got something to talk about. That's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I am the bespectacled professor-in-chief searching through our candy box. Check this out if you're on our feed. There's a predominant color in our candy box, RJ. And I think we can tell we've made a mistake.
We didn't make that mistake.
You made the mistake because you pointed out, you said cookies and cream, and I thought it was just cookies and cream and other normal chocolates in this bag. But it turned out to be a bag of entirely white chocolate sort of things, and most of them are abominations.
There's a Reese's right in your hand. Why are you complaining?
But we're down to just a few. I mean, we're almost out, and no one wants a white chocolate Reese's. What I do want is a solid gold M&M's ring with manufactured diamonds made out of peanut butter. I want one of those, and I might even be able to see one.
So word on the street, and we're, working on, finalizing things tomorrow on the Morning Huddle and tomorrow on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And Dan Marino is apparently walking around town with a ring on.
A golden ring.
A 14-karat M&M's made from peanut butter ring. That's what I was told.
We've seen the schematic of this thing. I got to see it. But first of all, we get Dan Marino. And, he's going to bring a diamond ring. He's celebrating the fact that he got close and never actually won that. He, along with a couple others that got close, Terrell Owens, right?
And Bruce Smith, who the Blitz Boys will have, Big Toe and Big Fudge.
And we're chasing the most important of this grouping is Scarlett Johansson. I don't think we'll have access to Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett and T.O. not slated to stop by, but Dan, Bruce are before the week is over. I just realized I called Jason Big Toe on accident. Should we amend left shoe to Big Toe?
No, that's Sergeant Hulka vibe. Another movie you have not seen. No, left shoe
and Big Fudge.
Left shoe and Big Fudge. That encompasses a lot of stuff inside of it.
Right. Well, the big toe is in the left shoe.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you absolutely have it. No, have y'all seen the stand-up comedian? His name is Bert Kreischer. He's the machine that he stands up. He does a stand-up without a shirt on. Got a movie out on Netflix. We're going to have Dan Marino and Bert Kreischer tomorrow.
We have a pretty packed day tomorrow. We're also supposed to have Jalen Hyatt, the New York Giants wide receiver. Also, Tony Pollard. Speaking of left shoes.
Tony's here with resumes, you think?
Dude, what the hell?
You think he is? I mean, don't you think
No.
Tony Pollard isn't looking for another.
You think he's looking for a job at Radio Row?
Well, there's coaches, scouts. There's knowledge.
Let's be real. Let's.
There's men of letters and knowledge walking these esteemed halls here at the Convention Center of Mandalay Bay. I don't know. Well, he won't be in silver and blue next year.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty comfortable in saying that. The game itself gathers nigh, and today I think the row is going to be popping. But last night was the welcome to Las Vegas Super Bowl party at the F1 track, and they had it set up the way you arrived. See, this is in conjunction with the Asian New Year,
the Lunar Year,
New Year.
Yeah.
So that we just got dropped off in this open giant parking lot.
It was right before the final straight line, of the Grand Prix.
So, and you walk in, and we walked in, and it didn't feel like an NFL event. It just felt kind of like a gathering kind of people, and of all Asian descent, and there were some First Nations types, and it didn't feel like an NFL thing. And then we walked out, and it was lots of really good Asian food, which I haven't had before. But it didn't feel right.
We had this noodle, they were like spicy. They were thick noodles.
Mm-hmm.
There were 4 of them,
super thick.
This little cup. Oh yeah, they were like
a pencil, like Big Chief pencil.
No. Like I'm thinking like. I don't even have a comp for this. I mean, it was like
dowel.
Yeah. So we had that. You had the soup thing.
Yeah, it was kind of a barley soup.
Yeah, that was gross.
It was actually quite good.
I had the shrimp patty, and you had.
I had a couple of those.
Yeah. A little bit of finger food action.
And then, but we stood around for a while, and it was outside, and we hadn't had torrential. It was cold. And then turn around, and we see some guys standing up on a balcony. What's going on up there? And that's where the party actually was. I don't know if we were just invited to the Clark County Lunar New Year celebration as we passed through, because there was a bunch of us walking around with lanyards on, but we weren't invited to that thing.
Pledge suggested udon noodles in the Brigade Bar. They weren't. I'm looking at those right now. These were like 5 times.
No, there's a specific name. They weren't flat either. They were round noodles.
They were. It was like as if fettuccine pasta had like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the opposite of that.
As any pencil you've ever, and thick. We'll leave it there. Then we go upstairs, and the true experience began. I mean,
I did not spend as much time there. I was hanging out with my SB Nation crew, but you apparently saw a lot of things.
Oh man, I made it because I knew that I was going to have a brief time there. I wanted to experience it all. So. First floor, they celebrated F1, NASCAR, and all that, and they had a couple of
NASCAR. It was only F1.
No, they had NASCARs back then. Old Richard Petty. They celebrated racing. That whole Shelby exhibit for car guys. It was great. Okay. And then they had a row of those simulators, those F1 simulators, right? Which was awesome. I could have spent all night there, but you could only do it there. And did pretty good. I finished the lap. But then you go upstairs, and it was Vegas through the years. So you walked into Vegas in the Naugahyde and Rat Pack years, and you had Elvis singing and all the different kind of crooners going on, and it was old school. Mm-hmm. And there they had kind of old Italian street foods, pizzas, meatballs, things like that. That was pretty good. And then you went to the next level, and it was Vegas to the 80s, 2000s, glitzy glamour and all that, and nuts, a party. It was the place to be in Vegas last night.
You know what I realized after we got home? We didn't get a media gift.
There was because we left. Remember, they have it on the way out. You just grab it. I don't know what it was.
We haven't seen the rest of the crew.
No, they got in much later than we did.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, at this point in time, but it was very cool to see the Grand Prix setup was incredible. You notice how I say Grand Prix?
Yeah, you do that quite well. I got here. My phone. If my computer goes blank and you lose my feed, it's because I've forgotten to plug my computer in. So
it's a good thing we haven't been here for 2 hours.
While I fumble around. Yeah, no kidding. Forgive me as I fumble around. We got a guest coming around the corner. Her name is Kalyn Kahler. She writes with The Athletic, and she writes long form, really in depth pieces. And when you read her stuff, it's the stories that we kind of, as talk radio guys, it's kind of the threads of things we get into: the injury issue, the concussions, the gambling, which is, it's just such a very strange world to be here, and to be part of the NFL circus for as long as we have been. To know how it was, you just didn't even talk gambling. You didn't even bring it up amongst kind company because
Mike McCarthy brought that up. How broadcasters had to just kind of, someone in the desert
to dance around that, and now to be sitting next to the DraftKings booth. It's hard to bring the two together. And I know that we're rather provincial when we do that because the Euros have been doing it forever. They're accustomed to. Well, they've having the gambling inside.
Yeah, they got kiosks.
The
Right.
And to see this, I know it's the new normal. It just doesn't feel like we're discussing what the elephant in the room is, that there is so much tied to both sides of this fence that Goodell is having to march a very fine line.
You mentioned the DraftKings booth. It's right next to the FanDuel booth, and it's also right next to the literal NFL-themed slot machines here in Las Vegas, where the Super Bowl is about to be played. I mean, it's rather incredible how much has changed in such a short time span, but that's life. I mean, it happens also. I mean, we talked about it as well. the NFL had a game streaming on a playoff game, exclusively streaming. That's crazy. Like, you know, the NFL of 10 years ago wouldn't recognize this. Even 10 years ago, you know, we're not talking, you know, 30 years ago or the mid 80s or something like that. Like 10 years ago, the NFL looked incredibly different than it does right now.
Or admit to the fact that there's a lot of money being made on the side on this.
Oh,
a lot of money being made on the side on it. I mean, just the gambling flow. It's just a very strange concept to wrap your arms around it. As we sit live on Radio Row here in Las Vegas, the day's starting to pick up, and we get closer to the game. You know, it's about time to put away the sidebar stuff. You know, we've talked to enough people. I think that the teams are under specific. There's a lockdown. They don't want anything weird to happen in Vegas, and I think a lot of us are waiting for something weird to happen that's not going to happen. I don't think we're going to have a Michael Irvin situation. I don't think there's going to be some kind of extraneous weird scenario because everybody's so on guard, because we are in Vegas and we don't want to stain this or tarnish the shield as we get there.
Do you care about the shield?
I do. And, you know, it's funny that you have to. Pat Mahomes was put in a difficult situation, having to talk about his dad. You know, that sucks, but that's just part of the gig. We are going to continue with our Radio Row coverage. This is one of those interviews that I'm excited about, because she is one of those that really is in-depth knowledge on a whole lot of things. You're going to enjoy this. So coming up, Kalyn Kahler of The Athletic is going to come sit down with us, a wide-ranging writer with lots of great insight into stuff, and this is why we are here. Your big game coverage continues here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Kalyn Kahler of The Athletic right here on the Morning Huddle. She's next.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip! Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here! Not up in here!
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
There's nothing I love more than to buy a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year-old car with great miles and great condition, especially the kind that you might have inherited from a loved one. My name's John Clay Wolf, CEO of America's Best Car Buyer. GiveMeTheVIN.com. You can go to GiveMeTheVIN.com, put in your license plate number, bada bing, bada boom, get a number quickly and at the top of the market. We love to buy cars.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
COVID-19? I don't want to risk missing work. I booked an appointment for this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn about a vaccine option and book your COVID-19 shot on schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature-Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature-Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasic.com.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyer4us.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's Rob and RJ, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Who wants to have some fun? Huddle up around us. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, the bespectacled professor. We're live on, you can't say Radio Row anymore. It's Media Row.
You're the only person who believes this. Everyone is saying it. You're the only person who's like forcing this.
But I feel, when I look around, every one of our individual tables, there's cameras on them.
So, I mean, like you could still say it.
By necessity, radio does not involve that.
Again, there are probably 400 tables here. Everyone is calling it Radio Row.
I know.
And you're just like, no one's calling it
Media
Radio
Row would be more appropriate. I'm trying to, as I endeavor, as the rest of the world should, leap into the digital future. We're almost to 8 o'clock. It's almost time for Danish, or 8:30. I'm hungry. I think tonight you and I are going to go find our own proper idiom.
Here's the thing. I really want a meal.
Yeah, I'll sit down.
Yeah, we've just eaten in hurries. You know what I mean? Since we've been here. And I don't think I've eaten with a fork and knife all week.
There's we have a lot of opportunity. And
a van here this morning. You did? It's kind of a poor driving job.
What are you talking about?
You were super slow, man, and you were
I was
like
thrust into action unexpectedly.
You were like, "Do I turn here? Do I stop? Do I move?"
I have not.
Do I
have
put
been
the car
a
in drive?
backseat passenger in every vehicle I've been in. I have not paid attention at all to where I just.
That's not true. I just opened. You navigated on the way here.
I'm not looking outside. So when I say take a left on Trop, that means just when you see Tropicana take a left, doesn't mean I'm eyeballing it. You're driving.
Wow.
I've literally not paid any attention. So this morning when we get up, expected to be chauffeured. To a text that was sent last night when we were obviously asleep. Then we get up and drove over. I thought I did exceptionally well. There were no accidents.
You didn't, and you took forever to pick a parking spot when there were like 14 of them in your face.
Well, I wanted to make sure we had a close spot, and we do. Now, unfortunately, we don't remember the level nor the garage that we got out of at 2:30 in the morning, but that's a whole other issue. But I took care of. I thought I did quite well. In fact, I said, are you driving? And your eyes got big. So when you turn it down, you no longer have the right.
I think my eyes must look heavy. I think I might need some help because Ultra Cowboy says in the Brigade Bar that I look worn out. I feel better than I felt any morning so far. The reality is you will never be used to waking up at 2 a.m.
No,
it will never work.
No.
It will never happen, no matter what.
And the self-sacrifice of leaving a party early.
Again, you're the one who's kind of, offering this up as a sacrifice more than I.
Oh, it was a sacrifice.
I was in fine position. It felt like you really did have to tear yourself away.
It's the throwdown. It's the thing. There's always great stories that come out of that. And I'm sure the Blitz will have many as we were home preparing the fine radio show.
I had 2 bowls, although it's really 1 bowl. They were really small bowls, but I had 2 bowls of Captain Crunch, Joe Reinengel's Captain Crunch.
Yes, you did. And that's a prodigious amount of cereal.
They were really small bowls.
I'm not going to kid you. They were not small bowls. Dude. It was your average sized cereal bowl. And you had we had eaten.
Not really.
It was a prodigious amount.
You know what, Rob? You can pop rocks.
we can pop rocks a lot of different ways. Hey, we're going to learn a lot with the next guest. Kalyn Kahler's around the bench. She writes with The Athletic. Lots of things to cover and talk about. We're excited for her to be here, so please do the appropriate things. You might not be able to watch it live. RJ, how can you check out the video?
So go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, subscribe as always, and it's there in the videos. All the interviews from the Morning Huddle, every single interview we have will be posted there. You can watch it at your own convenience. You can save it to your watch later. You can watch it tonight. You can watch it now. You can watch it tomorrow. You can watch it next week. But they are all accessible. Every single interview we do will be individually posted on the YouTube channel. I will tweet them out as well. So you can follow me there at RJ Ochoa if you're looking for more of a direct hub to that.
We seek to inform and to entertain, and I'm sure she will do both. Kalyn Kahler of The Athletic comes next. Hold on tight. This is going to be good. This is The Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. When we come to the big game like this, normally it involves a little bit of work, a little bit of effort to get the gear from here to there. It's nice to be in good shape. And coming off of years of being overweight and always tired, the Institute for Functional Health changed my life. And it's these kind of weeks that I see the true benefits because I'm putting in 20,000 steps a day. And let me tell you, 5 years ago, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done 10,000 steps a day. And certainly the next day would have been impossible. Just part of my life. Now I'm in far better shape because I walked into Dr. Torres's doors these 7 years ago. Weighed nearly 300 pounds. He explained to me, hey, man, you might have tried and failed before. It's not going to happen now because I got your back. Because what he does is put together programs that are based in medical science. This isn't some kind of fad. You take in less calories than you burn, you're going to lose some weight. But he also understands that so many of us have put on weight because of underlying issues. He'll diagnose those, find the reasons why you're holding on to weight, and then put you into a program that you can live with and live a long time. And after the years I've been with him, I'm telling you, 70 pounds down, I feel better today than I did yesterday. Who can say that? I want you to find out what I know. Call Dr. Torres over at the Institute for Functional Health. He'll explain to you why he's been so successful and show you the reasons why guys like me are skinny. The number you need is 210-468-1891. Go to the website, iffhealth.com. All the details are there. But listen to me close. If you have resolved to live a healthier life, call Dr. Torres today. The Institute for Functional Health is there for you. Call him today. Thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pletcher. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now, let's see what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policies... Oh, what is that? That's just my tail. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects... There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still my tail.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sadly, millions of pets are euthanized in America every year because the shelters lack the funding to care for them. We are better than that, my friends. I'm John O'Hurley, and I invite you to make an $11 monthly donation to the Puppy Food Bank. Your $11 donation will allow the Puppy Food Bank to direct ship pet food to San Antonio rescue shelters. To help save a pet's life, donate $11 today at puppyfoodbank.org, and they'll send you a very special gift. This pet rescue message has been brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. Over there on San Pedro, you know where it is, 13400 San Pedro right there in Bitters. One of my favorite places to go for a lot of reasons. It's not just about the restaurant and the bar, which is a reason to be. It's not just about the atmosphere and the great games and all the prizes that go along with being a San Antonio Card House member. It's a vibe. It's a thing that you get, whether you're a brand new player. They have brand new classes for you to get you interested in playing, to teach you how to play the game. They got great membership rates. They've got food to serve at great atmosphere while you're playing, or if you just bring your friends and family to play. But it's an atmosphere of success and fun, and that's why I go to SA Card House, and that's why you need to give them a try. Go check out their website, sacardhouse.com, but you're not going to know until you go. It's a private social club waiting for you to come and play. It's at Bitters in San Pedro. It is my SA Card House. Head there today. Thank me later.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hey, huddle up around us. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I am Rob Thompson. My new title today is Professor-in-Chief, but I'm just a lowly radio host sitting on Media Row. Always brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. We are honored, and I do mean honored, but we are joined by Kalyn Kahler. You know her from The Athletic. Great pieces throughout the league, and a genuine honor to finally meet you face to face. Been reading your stuff for a while.
Thanks, guys. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming by.
Happy Super Bowl week.
What is the best thing you've had to eat so far?
Oh my gosh, I really haven't had any meals out yet or at any restaurants. Okay. So you're catching me literally just having free meals so far. So the best free meal that I've had was media night last night. It was actually pretty good. They had a good like tacos, carnitas, spread.
Did you have a plantain?
I did.
Were you surprised that there were plantains at the Super Bowl media party?
I was. It's not something that you see.
Not all.
So
day.
we thought they were chicken wings. Like,
they did look like chicken.
Thank you. Okay, that's all I was looking for was justification.
They did kind of look like chicken wings.
It was rather unexpected. Your thoughts on what media night has become, or Monday Night Live, or whatever they call it now?
Yeah, I mean it's like a big circus, and actually, last year go to it. Like I would kind of show up. Midweek, like Wednesday, for when the team availabilities actually started. This year, actually, they're doing a team availability today, which is nice. But I used to come midweek, and then last year I realized it's actually great access if you just avoid the like craziness of trying to get people at a podium or like trying to like surround Travis Kelce. Like I watched my Travis Kelce's stop yesterday, and I was like, okay, no, there was a huge crowd. There were people with signs. I don't even know what the sign said because I didn't stay long enough to look. It's probably an interesting scene, but if you find like the assistant coaches, it's great access to assistant coaches. And you guys know that's not very easy to get during the season with these teams. And especially like, for example, I talked to an assistant quarterbacks coach yesterday. You could never do that during an NFL season. Maybe if you make a special request to the team, they might let you, but most of them won't because they'll be like, yeah, we just don't make these guys available.
Right.
They're not required to. So if you avoid the, Blue Man Group is walking around, honestly, I just find that really annoying because I'm like, I'm trying to do a job here. But like, it's Super Bowl week. I understand this is entertainment. It's fine. But if you avoid all of that, you can actually have some really productive conversations with people that are less popular.
It's weird how everything's kind of hiding in plain sight. To your point, like the Blue Man Group is like camouflage for the like easy points of accessibility. So when you write a story, I imagine, because it takes me a long time to read them and process them because they're incredible. But I imagine it takes like.
Sorry about that.
It's
the
a good
long
thing.
form piece is an art form. Yeah.
I imagine it takes months on end, and I imagine you've got notebooks, and I just envision this just kind of It's Always Sunny meme, like kind of processing and cross-referencing and things like that. So like a night like Monday night, do you go into it saying like, okay, I have an hour and I want to talk to like X, Y, and Z, and it's a little bit different than maybe like a standard conversation that you could have on the phone or whatever. Like it must be a little different level of pressure on you.
Yeah, I spent my whole plane ride yesterday, which was like, I'm from Chicago, so it was almost 4 hours. I spent the whole plane ride like getting my notebook out, writing down exactly who I was trying to find, what I needed to ask them, trying to be as organized as possible. But I have this terrible habit where I start interviewing someone and I don't look at my notes. So then later I'm like, why did I write all this down? I mean, it helps to write it down, I think, because it gets it in your memory, but there'll be at least like 2 or 3 questions that I completely forgot to ask. And then I'm like, gosh, dang it. And I get really mad at myself. But yeah, I spent the whole plane ride like plotting out what I was going to do and my plan. And I was really mostly working on a Niners thing. So I didn't really have like a very detailed plan for the Chiefs. I was just kind of like, let's just float around and see who's available. But yeah, the hardest part is like identifying these guys. Because like the coaches, they had a bunch of stools set up that they were, I think, supposed to make it to, but it was on the whole other side. So then they would have to walk all the way around, and like people were stopping them before they got there. And so you really just had to be like, okay, and they're not wearing anything. Like they're just wearing, and the Super Bowl sweats this year are like
drab and dull.
They're Costco
great.
Kirkland brand. That's all they are.
Yeah, it's really a weird fashion choice. And so I thought they were very hard to find in the crowd of people because there were no colors.
And they at least gave us a roster with numbers, but no one had numbers on last night. So they had some pictures in the dark to stumble around when we were getting them. And I noticed last night, of course, the media throng, Kansas City and, Mahomes and Kelsey and all that kind of stuff. Obviously the draw was there and they were the first coming in for the night and the crowds were huge. Once they dispersed in the way that the opening night goes, the Chiefs came out, they leave, and then the teams themselves kind of gather together for kind of a mutual presser while the fans wait. And then the 49ers come in an hour later. So now we're about 3.5 hours in by the time the 49ers arrived, and a lot of people had already left. The 49ers seem to be caught in the draft of the Kansas City juggernaut. And I said you said you were writing a story on the 49ers. How is this a good thing for the 49ers right now? Because they're the second thought. They're the second act. They're the closing act. We talk about Reed first, and then we go to Kyle if he's free or available kind of stuff. Is that beneficial to them? Are they looking at it that way?
Yeah, I think they are. And I think in sports, we love underdog stories, and it's weird to call the Niners an underdog because they're really not by any sense of the word. They are a staffed team, and they've had success consistently over the last, over Shanahan's tenure. They've barely had a down year. But, Brock Purdy is an underdog. He is the underdog. So I think, I think they probably are looking at it that way because the Chiefs are here to defend their title. The Niners, I mean, you can't say they have nothing to lose because they have a lot to lose. They want to win that game. They've lost to the Chiefs once before, 2020. So they don't want to be in that position again. But I do think you're right about that sense of Brock Purdy is the definition of underdog. This is a Mr. Irrelevant. If he won a Super Bowl, that would be a really cool storyline. And I know that he infuriates a lot of people with his style of play and, the way that he can just scramble very slowly for a first down. And it's he's the complete opposite really of what Patrick Mahomes is. But he's here. And I think that's a testament to what Kyle Shanahan has built and what they're doing there on offense and on defense as well. They're really strong. So I think it's going to be it's a really different matchup than 2020. And I think it's going to be really interesting.
So you mentioned you have a Niners story and I want to get there, but something like the Brock Purdy of it all. And there's a lot of discourse. I mean, that's putting it lightly. Is that too low hanging fruit for you? It's Mr. Irrelevant.
It's obvious,
it's just been talked about ad nauseum, and it's remarkable, but it is kind of old at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't written like specifically about Brock yet, and I don't know what I'll be writing out of the Super Bowl, so that'll be sort of in development. But I do think it's always an interesting storyline. I mean, he wasn't here for the Niners the last time they were in this game, so as far as the Super Bowl goes, like he is new, and honestly, he hasn't been starting for that long. He started 4 games last year.
Yeah, well, and he didn't even lose one until the title game when he was knocked out.
Hurt. And so, he was brand new on the scene last year, and it feels like he's been around for a lot longer at this point. But he still is actually a very new figure. And, the way he dresses, the way I think he shares an apartment with a teammate, like all of that is like very like low key and kind of endearing. And so I do think he probably will end up. If it wasn't for Travis Kelce, I think Brock would probably be like the sweetheart of the Super Bowl.
She is Kalyn Kahler, senior writer with The Athletic. And you're talking about the 49ers and the Kyle Shanahan and the lineage, the Shanahan family. I mean, the Shanahan name in the NFL has been around for a while. And, he was brought up as a coach and coaching coaches and doing all that kind of stuff. And your work with Kyle Shanahan, tell us about how he manages his team.
Yeah, so the connection with Mike is really interesting because Kyle as a head coach has obviously taken a lot from his dad, and Mike has a lot of coaches that have come out of his tree, and now Kyle has his own tree with Robert Saleh in New York, Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins, and now Houston, DeMeco Ryans. So it's really interesting to see this tree kind of spread, and we know their offense. We know, the wide zone run game, like West Coast offense. We know that like Shanahan style of offense that originated with Bill Walsh way back when. With the Niners. But the interesting thing that I'm writing about that has been sort of written about just like in a couple sentences here and there, it appears in stories. And I actually got the idea from a Jets story about the Jets quarterback room. The lead of the story was Robert Saleh was in his own office, his personal office, and he had a screen in front of him and he was able to listen to the quarterback's meeting room. And the quarterbacks weren't even like in an official meeting. They were like chatting after a meeting. And he was listening in on their like post-meeting chat, which also did still happen to be about football. So it wasn't like, it didn't seem very invasive, but I read that and I was like, that's really weird. Like, can you imagine your bosses like having a camera in your office at all times? I mean, I guess radio is live, so, they're listening.
But we're looking for the red light to make sure it's off.
Yeah, but like when you're not on the air, they're like listening in all the time. And so I asked someone, okay, how did Robert get this idea? And they're like, oh, it came from Kyle. And then I'm like, well, where did Kyle get the idea? It came from Mike. Mike was doing this in Denver in the 90s, which is crazy because like, I'm like, how did that technology exist? But it was kind of like a CCTV, like security camera type of thing. And he could pick between the audio of the different rooms. And so I'm like, all right, I need to just talk to people who've coached with him, see if they think it's weird. Because we think it's weird. But it turns out most people who have coached for A. Shanahan, Mike, or Kyle are very into this. Like they're like, yeah, we just assume we're always, or who have played for them. They just assume they're always being recorded. A couple players last night did say, like Trent Williams was like, he's always listening. It's kind of like being on Big Brother. And so that is part of it. Like you have to know, like you're always getting watched. Whatever you say is going to be heard. But, the majority of them find it to be helpful because, especially the coaches, because they're like, we can self-scout after the season. They can watch things back. And then there's a bunch of anecdotes in my story about like Mike jumping into a meeting that people were having to fix something in real time. John Embry, who is the assistant head coach and tight ends coach now in Miami, he told a story in Washington where him and Kyle were arguing about how they should block the backside of a run. And Kyle ended up agreeing with him. And then 30 seconds later, because Kyle was the offensive coordinator at the time, 30 seconds later, Mike comes bursting into the room and he's like, no, we're not doing it this way. We're not doing it this way. And John was like, whoa, okay. So things like that are happening. And like with the Niners, so I didn't get to ask Brock about this because I was not going to fight the crowd in front of him. But Brandon Allen, who's a third string quarterback in San Francisco right now, he said they called a screen in their room the voice of God because Kyle's voice will just come in to their quarterback room when he's not in there to like give them a note.
There's so many issues I have with that, but you can't argue with success. And if people are walking away with it going, it's no big deal, I give it a little bit more credence. But my first thought is you're doing what to win? Yeah. And then what about the players and the union side of this? There's some issues in here that I think
The interesting thing is, that's a good point. It hasn't run yet. It's running tomorrow. Maybe I should call the Union today to be like, do you guys have an issue with this? But actually, a player on the 2010 Commanders team, that was right before the lockout.
Mhm.
The lockout was happening the next summer. He told me that they did have an NFLPA meeting, and they're able to. I should have said this earlier. With Mike and with Kyle, because now Kyle is doing it on Zoom, so you can mute the Zoom.
Interesting.
If you want to, you can mute it. You have the coaches have the control of that if they want to, and Mike. Before Zoom days, he had a light switch on the wall,
Right, okay.
where you could turn the audio off.
So there's some,
or you could turn the dial down.
Yeah.
So when the NFLPA came in to have this meeting with the players, they were like, "All right, we got to make sure we're not being recorded here, so that the coaches don't have an influence." So there is a little bit of free choice there, but some coaches told me "Oh, I never bother. I just it's fine."
I'm just astounded that Kyle, who has a number of responsibilities, has the time. I don't have time to listen to every podcast I want to listen to.
I know.
How can he focus while listening? And does he have a schedule of when he jumps in here or there, whatever? That in and of itself is fascinating.
So it's hard to understand because the head coaches will say that it makes them more efficient. Because I didn't actually talk to Kyle for the story, but I did talk to Gary Kubiak, who coached for Mike, coached with Kyle. Actually, Kyle coached under him in Houston when he became a head coach. And Gary said that he took this and he did sort of a light version of it where he just had it in his 3 big meeting rooms for special teams, defense, and
that
offense.
makes sense.
And so, because those are the meetings, you can't be in all 3 of those. Usually on an NFL schedule, they're all happening at the same time. So you can't go to all 3 of those meetings as a head coach. So you can listen to all 3 at the same time and chime in. So that part makes sense. But yeah, I don't know how you would have time to go through everything. So I think they multitask. I think the coach is in his office and he's doing whatever head coaching things he needs to get done. And he's got, it's like listening to a podcast while you're working. It's sort of similar to that. So yeah, but it is crazy. Because then I just asked Norv Turner, who has head coached in 3 different teams. I just asked him, hey, did you ever do this? And he was like, no, I was way too busy to be doing that. So you'll hear the same different arguments from different people. And when you talk to coaches, outside of the Shanahan tree, just presenting them with this idea, they're like, that's weird. People on the outside think it's weird. But I will say with COVID, 2020, the COVID protocol, a lot of the meetings had to be held. If you couldn't physically distance, you put everything virtually.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of coaches were joining into each other's meetings on Zoom. So I think that technology
accelerated this whole
it was the next evolution of what Kyle and Mike had already been doing. And now I think you'll find coaches outside of the Shanahan tree who do this now because of COVID and the Zoom.
Yeah, there is a little bit more comfortability of having a camera and a microphone on in a random place. I think we're more accustomed to. But the idea that the forward-thinking Shanahan is doing that seems so relative to constraining old school ideas of you'll do how I coach, as I coach. I'm going to listen to you, coach. Sounds really interesting, progressive, not progressive for what I believe to be a very progressive coach.
Yeah, and I think too, I asked players if they noticed a difference, when they played somewhere else that didn't do this. And Logan Paulson, who is a tight end for Kyle and Mike, he was in San Francisco for Kyle's first year, and then he had played in Washington for Mike. He said when he played for 3 other teams that were outside the Shanahan tree, and he said he noticed right away, things were not consistent. He'd be in a meeting with the offensive line coach, and he would explain something, but not fully explain it. And then the offensive coordinator, who wasn't in the meeting, didn't know that meeting hadn't gone well. And then he's retreading the same stuff, but it hadn't gone well. And so no one's understanding things. And so the details aren't lining up. And so as weird and surveillance-y as it is, and there are people who are rubbed the wrong way by it. But majority of them are this is fine. But the end result is that you can make sure that everyone is saying the same thing, which can be a problem on coaching staffs.
It makes sense how his staff would be so prominent and everyone's well organized and ready and equipped for opportunities that come their way. You've written extensively about a lot of things, including the Cowboys analytics staff. And that's a weird topic in my world because Mike McCarthy is such a polarizing figure, especially when it comes to analytics, because people remember his opening press conference and, it just conversations go sideways. I don't think people regard the Cowboys as an analytically forward organization. People just kind of view them as the Cowboys of it all. I don't really have a question as much as I'm just curious for your kind of 30,000-foot thoughts on them.
Yeah, well, I wrote that story because you're right. Mike is very polarizing, and it's particularly when it comes to his clock management.
Right.
And which is a branch of analytics. It's weird. Defining analytics is really impossible. It's it's 7 different things, but clock management is one of those things that falls into the bucket of it. And so I wrote this story because I noticed they had really expanded their analytics staff this summer. They had gotten rid of Tom Robinson, who was previously in charge for like 20 years of their analytics. And they had a couple consultants who like worked under him. And I think like maybe one staffer. And so all of those people had left. Some of them left because they wanted to.
Right.
Some of them they moved on from. And so they replaced them with a team with John Park, who's now the director of analytics there. And he came from Indianapolis, and he was able to hire, I think, 4 people under him. So they have like a 5-person staff now, which puts them on the high end of analytics staffs in the NFL. Comparatively, like baseball teams have like 40, but for football, that's a lot.
This is still the Stone Age. I mean,
yeah,
right.
Having 5 is a pretty good number. So I wanted to see if, like, when I wrote it mid-season, I was like, what I was trying to figure out what the impact of this analytics staff was on the team. And it's really hard to tell mid-season. You almost need like 5 years to be like, this is what they've done, right? And like the Cowboys have drafted well. So they're just probably just going to add to the efficiency with their drafting. But I wanted to know in game, like, what was going on. And so essentially my conclusion, was that Mike, I'm on a tangent now, but Mike getting rid of Kellen Moore and being like, we're going to run the ball more, but then he actually just passed more than Kellen had actually. And so it seemed like that was a good thing during the season when they were having success. And I actually thought that might be the analytics staff's influence because they were passing on early downs more than they had with Kellen Moore, which is a sign of analytics influence when you pass on early downs. So I was like, oh, that might be something. They were using motion more than they had before, which also is just a very like analytically sound thing for an offense. Like use motion, shows you what the defense is doing. That is like something you can do to have success. So there were a couple of areas where like I felt like that was possibly the analytics influence. But my larger question was like, is this going to be the year that Mike finally figures it out and like the Cowboys are going to go farther than they have? And honestly, I don't know that last game says anything about.
No, it didn't offer. It didn't offer an opportunity to evaluate that. To your point,
right? And I was hoping it would be a close game. It would come down to some 2-minute decisions, and But there's nothing. I haven't even rewatched that game because I'm just like I don't even know what there is to see here. Like this is.
I'm with you, and it was so out of character, out of out of the box for what they'd been, and defied everything about who they had been. To your point, that I always thought McCarthy's run the ball comment was taken a little out of context because of how polarizing he is, and so he offered that Kellen wanted to light up the scoreboard, and people just again ripped on him for that, and and people drag him for the initial, I built a front office in my barn, whatever. And so like nobody will evaluate him fairly, which is why we appreciated you offering that because that had never really been done.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk to him for the story just to be like, what are you actually doing now with analytics?
That's a good question.
I was surprised. I talked to someone who worked for him in Green Bay. His name's Mike Ayers. He's considered like the grandfather of football analytics. He like invented a bunch of metrics that we use now before they even really had anything. And he was actually interesting because he was like, you know what, Mike, like they were kind of advanced in Green Bay in the early days of his Green Bay tenure. But then he also said something that I think explains a lot about Mike now, which was that, like I brought up, I can't remember what game it was now, 2014, maybe NFC title game, Packers,
Seahawks.
And he kicked 2 field goals in the fourth quarter from like the 1-yard line, which now coaches would not do that.
Right.
Like you would not see that decision being made. And Mike Ayers was like, I was like, how would you talk him through situational things like that? Like when you analyze it the next day, because he said Mike would have him go look and see, okay, historically, what happened when a team did this? Did they win or lose? Like win probability. And Mike Ayers said something that like would make analytics people of today like riot. Because he was like, we're seeing like a 4 or 5% win probability increase or decrease. And he's like, that's not really that significant. But analytics people today would be like, that's huge.
Right.
Like, each of those decisions adds up. So like you basically lost like 8% win probability in the first quarter for those 2 field goal choices, which ended up,
being consequential.
So when Mike Ayers said that, I felt like it explained a lot about how Mike McCarthy makes choices now, which is like he's not, and it's good to not just like look at the numbers and be like, this is what the book tells me to do, we're going to do that. like, you do need to put it into context. But I do think that, like, Mike's football side, his coach intuition probably wins out more than the numerical analysis does. And I think that's like what it comes down to with him. And I wanted to see him put into that position again. So
not anytime soon, at least for the next couple of months.
Yeah.
She is Kalyn Kahler. She is the senior writer with The Athletic, sitting in with us here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This is an interesting week in that it ultimately decides narratives, which defy objective data and facts in a lot of ways. So is that frustrating for you? Because that's generally, from my vibe from reading you, is you lay out facts and draw conclusions, but this is the kind of polarizing thing that, well, you know, Brock Purdy won the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy defeated Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and we're never able to put that toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is I think covering a Super Bowl is just hard in general, because there's very few things that you can write that are interesting and different.
Or that aren't being told simultaneously.
Yeah, because you're right. It is like just a whole week of narratives, and like those can be fun and interesting. And like, I just think about like last year's Super Bowl, Kevin Clark wrote something for The Ringer that was like just about Patrick Mahomes being great. And like, that's not a unique idea, but it was really good. And I was like, oh, how did he do that? Like, how did he pull that off? That was like really, and I don't even know how to describe what he did exactly, but like, he just sort of like, you know, went into like, you know, how Mahomes had battled through that ankle injury, which is really impressive. And yeah, so I mean, this is a week of narratives, but you can still take an obvious story and like make it interesting. It's just figuring out how.
He has a way, and sometimes the obvious thing should be said. Like, it should just be the obvious thing. You don't have to dress it up and not that Kevin doesn't write expansive or detailed things, but sometimes like he's such a great golf writer as well. And sometimes it's just about the emotion or the statement or the fact or whatever it is. It doesn't, it's just how do we feel about this? And I think that that's powerful in and of itself.
Totally. Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys. This was fun.
It's going to be a busy week. We're glad you're here.
We're looking forward to the Niners piece, unless the NFLPA like shuts it down.
Yeah.
So
I should ask them, like, hey, what do you guys think of this?
Yeah.
I saw him yesterday, and I should have said something, but I'll call him.
Well, we'll
Thanks
see.
for the idea.
Kalyn Kahler right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks, guys.
If you want to see the video, it is live on our YouTube feed. Explain how to get there, RJ.
Head to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, subscribe. You can turn on notifications, and when we post them, which we are doing all week long here, you'll get a notification so you see, oh, the Kalyn Kahler interview's up. Let me go watch that right now.
If you haven't been to the beautiful Moody Center up in Austin, we have an opportunity to go. Creed will be there on November the 15th of next year with the Are You Ready tour. They'll bring Three Doors Down and Mammoth WHV coming to the Moody Center November the 15th. It's the Live Nation joint. If you want to go, get on the phone right now. 656-3776, 656 Espen to you and me. Caller number 7. Gonna go check out a good show, Creed and Three Doors Down at the Moody. That's coming up November the 15th. Lots to talk about, lots of fun to be had. You are live from Radio Road. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, as you sit at home and you get used to certain things, when you travel, you miss them. I miss my Connecticut water softener. Who'd have thought you'd ever say that? Nobody talks about the water softener except those that are mad at them or bragging on them. I'm bragging on mine. I got a Connecticut I have for a long time. Never had to plug it in. It works off kinetic energy. Haven't had to use as much salt as you. I know that because mine only works when I turn on the faucet. I don't have a motherboard to break. I don't have the problems that so many others have, and I have never had one problem with my Connecticut water softener. I live on a well. I have other problems to deal with that you might not. All of that is taken care of by the best water softener you can find for Central and South Texas. That's a Connecticut. The Knippa's been taking care of me for a long time. Let them take care of you. This is an offer for you right now. You want a Connecticut in your home, 90 days, no commitment. They'll put one in there. You'll find out what so many of us know, that Connecticut is the water softener that you need to have in South Texas. Call 656-PURE today. They'll come out post-haste and do that. Go for all the details. That's at ConnecticutSA.com. Sing it while you type it. It's the last water softener you're ever going to own. Find out for yourself, and when you do, I know you're going to thank me later.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Wade Phillips joining us here in studio on the Blitz.
He was a general manager. I mean, people discard that, but he played football. He obviously works hard at being a general manager. Meets with all the players that we're going to try to draft. I mean, he's into it. He works hard at it, and So he wants to know. I don't blame him for wanting to know, what we're doing and why we're doing it. And actually, he did the same thing with me that he did with McCarthy. He said, "I want you coaching the defense." He's trying to do the best that he thinks they're going to help his team.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or this or that.
At Doctors Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, your San Antonio Spurs hit the road. The Rodeo Road Trip begins. They're in Miami for the first of 9 roadies. The Texas Longhorns fell to 14th-ranked Iowa State 70-65. They're just 4-6 in the Big 12. Houston Astros, Jose Altuve got an extension 5 for $125. He is buying. You're on 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Here are the guys. Hey, huddle up on us. We got something to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle. That is RJ Ochoa. He manages and edits Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. I stumble around in the dark looking for my glasses. We're glad you're here on a good hump day, Wednesday. 3 hours in the books. If you missed anything, want to see anything, taste anything, smell anything, you can do some of those things on our YouTube feed. Go to sasportstar.com, specifically the Morning Huddle. You can catch up all the deets, the videos, and all that. Make sure you are paying your Noti tax, putting a thumb on it, and doing all that is appropriate for your listenership. How are you doing this morning?
Did you ever think you would say words like that on the radio?
Didn't, and especially in that order.
Yeah.
I never thought that those words in that order would ever come out of my mouth. I am Noti. I did speak and have spoken often with Nota Begay, but never thought I would say Noti.
Well, it is 7 a.m. here on in Radio Row. On Radio Row?
I think we are amongst.
At? A part of. Anyway, it is 7 a.m. local time. You and I have been up for 3.5 hours. 4.5 hours?
Yeah.
No, 3.5. What am I talking about? We've been up for a long time.
And we drove a vehicle this morning.
You drove a vehicle quite poorly, if I might add.
It was in a straight line, and we arrived safely. Every flight's a good flight if you walk away from it, baby.
It was a horrible job that you barely pulled off.
You have been treated with remarkable kid gloves as the newbie around the house because you're not really a newbie. You know, well, normally you'd be carrying bags.
What do you mean, newbie?
I
brought all the groceries in. I set up. I made sure that we had the oven baked pizza that you baked and we didn't even eat.
Baked. You did not.
You also. I also took over putting the other day some not croissants, some bagels in the toaster oven.
I burnt those.
Yeah, and Rob jumped in and said, "Back up! I got this." And then
in my defense,
no,
I ate the burnt ones.
Well,
and you got the good ones because that's the kind of guy. But as the newbie, I should have sent you out. Like, go to Einstein's, go someplace else.
So, well, whatever. But either way,
so you're living good. But the reason being,
also, I'm the only person
we're very comfortable
who took a backpack to media night, and
that was unfortunate.
And I carried the group microphone. So that's what I'm saying.
Have people noticed our new mic flags?
Well,
I hope people have noticed.
Pick it up and hold it.
I don't know where one is.
Well, don't turn your computer off again. So we have survived some. You have survived some technical difficulties.
Hey, y'all want to see something cool? If you're on our YouTube feed, I want you to look where I am and look behind me. See right there behind me? That's Mark Schlereth doing radio right there. See him? Wave at him. Mark, that's Stink right there. He's talking to Denver, and he's on your air right now. That's the kind of radio stuff you get when you're at the big game covers, brought to you by our good friends over at AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, and small batch Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Let me tell you something. Have you tried legitimately the hot honey Southern Recipe?
I keep walking past them in the kitchen.
I've never had anything like it. I can't stop eating it. It puts you in the mind of candy corn, not candy corn, caramel corn.
Oh.
Caramel popcorn. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
It's sweet. It's kind of hot. It's got a crunch. It's a new food group to me.
Wow.
That's a.
Did you have chills? Is that what you got? Goosebumps?
I was thinking, man, that sounds really good right now. We're waiting on our Danish.
Rob is really hungry. For anyone who's unaware, who hasn't been with us all day, first of all, shame on you. But second of all, Rob has been hearkening for a donut.
Because last night all I ate was Asian.
Well, we didn't explain this. So again, not complaining.
No, we're not complaining.
The event we were at last night,
fine gathering,
had a lot of different, foods that you could sample, but they were samples. Imagine being starving for a meal. And someone
little bites at a time.
And someone saying, "Oh, I got you. We're going to go to Costco and get the little samples, and you'll just get full off of that." That did not happen. And so, it was, and everything had a line and it was really cold. So again, not upset, not complaining, just letting you know the circumstances and explaining why now Rob is fighting hunger in the shape of a Kool-Aid.
Well, you unexpectedly had to drive in. I brought my breakfast corn dog, but I didn't make it all the way here with it.
You were a little bit stressed.
Well, I didn't expect to have to drive. We couldn't find the keys, just a whole yada yada thing.
We survived though.
We did. We've all sacrificed.
That's right. My sacrifice is a song by Creed.
We gave away some tickets.
I know.
I've got some Nimish Patel tickets to come up. He's coming to the Aztec 3 days, and just 3 days from now.
Wow.
You get the comedic stylings, the humor, the intelligence, the political satire that is Nimish Patel.
Well, 4 days from now, we have an event, a worldwide event.
I was looking, there's a, when you think Super Bowl, and I ask you, what is the most iconic, remarkable performance? Not game, but when you think of the player, you went, my gosh, what's the player in the Super Bowl that you remember?
So you're saying the way a singular player performed.
Let's narrow it down to quarterbacks, so we don't bounce all over the world.
My answers were not going to be quarterbacks.
SI right now has a list of the top 25 Super Bowl quarterback performances of all time, and I think that the stage is set this year to have a possible all-time performance because the storylines are such that there's the ascension of the GOAT and then there's the justification of irrelevancy. Well, and I think either one could feed it.
I don't want to answer a quarterback if you'll allow me to.
No, go ahead, because mine is completely random as well.
So I'm going to go chronologically, and I'm going to go back to, let's start in like 06. Dominic Rhodes and Joseph Adai, I thought should have split that MVP. They went to Peyton Manning, running the rock for the Colts in the rain. 07, not a performance, but obviously think of the David Tyree moment. 08, Super Bowl 43.
That Tyree moment was something.
Right. The James Harrison pick six. I mean, you're rumbling and stumbling the entire length of the field back in chaos at the end of the first half. I mean,
I was there for that James Harrison.
That was sick. And Santonio Holmes too, and the touchdown at the very end.
That was Tampa, right?
Yeah. And then the next year, 44, nobody really kind of stands out. 45 either, 46, no, 47. You know who did
One
not
for the ages? Okay.
47 was Ravens Niners. The lights going out in New Orleans. Joe Flacco won the MVP, but Jacoby Jones was amazing in that game. Jacoby had, at the end of the first half, this massive kind of prayer of a ball that Joe threw to him, and he caught it and had to kind of fall down to catch it through the momentum of the ball. And then he got up and shook a defender. And then to start the second half, he took the opening kickoff back. I mean, like, it was such an I think he should have been in consideration for MVP. 48. There were so many. I mean, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas. I mean, everybody was great.
Yeah, it's hard to name defensive guy though.
Sure. Well, Malcolm Smith was a defensive player. He won the MVP.
And did we go who?
50. Von Miller was incredible. 51. I mean, Donta Hightower does not get enough love in the Patriots dynasty that we talk about so often. Donta Hightower in Super Bowl 49, moments before the Malcolm Butler interception that saved the game for New England, Donta Hightower stopped Marshawn Lynch at the 2-yard line when most human beings wouldn't be able to do that. And Donta Hightower caused the fumble on Matt Ryan, who we'll talk to later this week, that began the 28-3 collapse. I mean, there are a very small handful of moments in New England Patriots dynasty history that are, Donta Hightower responsible for.
It's funny when I think of the seminal moments in Super Bowl history and quarterback play and just big moments. I don't think of anything very recent. The most recent iconic would be Brady in the second half Atlanta. That was one of those.
But it wasn't even just it took a lot of team things.
No, you're right. That's why I don't even think he fits in there. But when you go back into the 90s, it was every year. It felt like, or the 80s, one of the quarterbacks it was Montana, and then it was Young, and prior to that, it was Terry Bradshaw. Troy Aikman, while he didn't get all the glamour and all the other awards, had a couple of brilliant Super Bowls that were spot on man meets moment kind of brilliance. And those kind of things have gone away where it's that. And then, remember, this is a name that's lost in history. Tim Smith with the Redskins, who just out of nowhere, like 250 yards on the ground, that you just those kind of moments you don't see very often anymore.
Speckled Truth with a great chat in the Brigade Bar, great example. Says the onside kick to start the second half at Super Bowl 44.
Extraordinary moment.
I mean,
yes,
that's a great call, certainly. Man, I mean, I think more recent history because they're not quarterback.
Maybe that's it.
It's nice to kind of like, you know, early, and you could speak to this more than I can, which is not a backhanded diss or a backhanded compliment.
But age over beauty.
But Super Bowls used to suck, like the games. Like
traditionally they were, because it was defensive battles. The teams that got there because they only gave up 14 points a game and threw a ball 3 times.
But they were like they were just like one-sided. Like it was just like one domination over the other.
You're thinking like whenever Denver showed up, there was going to be a beating or
yeah. Like I would say, you know, up until, you know, maybe the kind of New England dynasty that kind of began, maybe that 07, you know, that first Patriots Giants one kind of began these, because that year Super Bowl 42, well, that was such a great game. 43 had the James Harrison, Antonio Holmes thing. 44 had the Mario Manningham thing. 45 was a little bit less touch and go. 46 had the Mario Manningham moment again. 47 was the very end of the game between Baltimore and San Francisco, where Baltimore took the safety and the Michael Crabtree moment. Like they all used to be really, really, really one-sided, and then they got really good, and they were all like these riveting, dramatic, you know, kind of last-second heroic things. And last year was kind of that cut. Last year was this like back and forth, and not even back and forth, but Philly had that big lead at halftime, and you thought, oh, this is over, but Rihanna sang and everything turned.
As it always does.
What's your favorite Rihanna song? Actually, no, don't answer that. What's your favorite Usher song? Because
Usher?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What do you mean, oh, man? Like, you've got to know.
Well, I'm
You can do this. I mean, there's all.
okay. I'm actually trying to think of the titles of the songs. I'm thinking of the lyrics, but I don't know the songs. Because it's been a minute.
Everyone is going to say yeah. That's going to be everyone's suggestion.
No, yeah is which song?
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh yeah, see that's the one that came to my mind.
Yeah, Luda's in it. Lil Jon's.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Do you think they'll show up on Sunday?
Are you kidding me? Yes, they're going to roll in a pickup truck. Everybody coming from that era. Everybody who ever performed in Atlanta is going to be.
So people would say yeah. A lot of people would say Confessions, probably part 2. A lot of people would say Burn, I think.
Burn's in there. That
a lot of people would say You Got It Bad. It's kind of like OG, slow, sensual Usher. Caught Up is a great kind of dance song by Usher. The correct answer, though, is this song is underrated when it comes to Usher, and I don't think that it will make the cut for the set list on Sunday. But nevertheless, DJ Got Us Falling in Love by Usher. That is such a great song, and Pitbull has the verse, and that doesn't really amplify it in my mind. But that is such a great like power, like boom, boom, you know, Usher just dancing and being incredible. If I could dance like anyone, it'd probably be Usher.
Well, you'd look like Kevin James in Hitch.
No, I would have his dancing skills.
Oh, you'd have that?
Yeah, if I could have the dancing skills of any human. Actually, no, it'd be Bruno Mars.
What about You Got It Bad?
I said that.
Oh,
I
you
said
did?
that's
Okay.
like kind of.
What about You Don't Have to Call? See, that was up there. That's one of my. But we all have reasons for our favorite songs.
Yeah, I mean, again, you really can't go wrong with most Usher songs, but you know.
This is going to be iconic. It really is.
You
get the sense that because it's Vegas and all the things that go into it, that we'll get a little extra salt and pepper.
I saw this great TikTok, and I don't mean to just completely rip it off, but I'm about to. It was these two girls predicting how the halftime show is going to start off, and it was one girl like impersonating Usher, and she was just like turning to the camera and it was like, "Oh my God!" And you could totally see it, like this is exactly how it's going to start. People forget, I believe, that Usher did perform to a degree at the halftime show in Arlington.
Oh, the icy one. Yeah, I remember
he was a part of it with the Black Eyed Peas. He didn't headline it, but
because he hadn't reached the depths of time, he had to reach the bottom and then come back and get his Vegas residency and become what he is. It was in LA 2 years ago. We were getting ready.
That was the halftime.
That was a great show. Well, who was the performer? Who was the? Who did the? I forget which performance. It was either the national anthem or the halftime performance. One of the guys we're standing around the row with said, "Hey, man, I was in the building the other day and I heard the So I think it's going to be X. I don't remember what it was. And I can't remember if it was for halftime or the national anthem. And we were like, oh, this is worthy knowledge. He goes, well, I don't know. It was just, I'm telling you, I was in the building and I heard them doing sound check and practicing. And we were all like, oh, let's time this. So he gave me the time and he was right.
Just so we're clear, by the way.
I did not. There was,
well, you wouldn't. You're a man of honor.
But you don't know. I mean, it's practice, and you never know what a musician's going to be. But he was pretty much dead on.
The halftime show 2 years ago, just to again close that loop. Dr. Dre,
it was
Snoop
Snoop and
Dogg,
all those
Eminem,
guys. So
Mary
it
J.
was
Blige, Lamar.
it was the national anthem, and I believe. It was a person of substance, though I do not recall. A person of substance is in need while the now hiring sign is down. The interviews are complete. We still don't know who it's going to be. The Cowboys are looking for a defensive coordinator, but the most important question they're going to have to answer sooner than later is what are they going to do about Dak? We'll talk about Dak, the defensive coordinator situation, and all those that are coming down Media Row because that's what we do. Thanks for hanging with us. You're on 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star. You know, there are all kinds of opportunities this weekend to celebrate a big game like the one that's coming on Sunday. And one is to provide fine meats for all of your friends and family. Tri-County Meat Market is where I go. They are my purveyors for all the meats required for a big weekend of grilling. And right now, Tri-County has all kinds of opportunities for specials and things to get going. So I want you to head over to either one of the Tri-County locations over on Ralph Fair. Easy to get to on Huebner. That's where you need to head for all the things that you're chasing. Frozen meat baskets are also available at boxes as well. All kinds of things to make sure you're taking care of. But for this weekend, you're going to need to have a couple of rounds. You might want to walk in and take care of the prepared foods. You just like the grill and look fancy. Let them do all the work. I'm talking about those stuffed chicken breasts. I'm talking about those poppers that are to die for. They are the ones that you want. Freshly made by experts. And then after all that, get yourself some of that sausage and serve that up with all the fine sides stuff with your charcuterie board. Then put that meat on there. I'm going to go with a good steak at halftime. It's a quick grill. Get it on there and get ready for halftime. That's why you get over to Tri-County. They got everything you need to up your grilling game. The quality of meat starts at prime and only gets better. You're looking for Wagyu. You're looking for porterhouses. You're looking for those tomahawks. You got to strap on the top of your car. That's why you go to Tri-County. Not only do they have the best meat, the best prices. Both locations waiting on a great meal. Starts with great meat over at Tri-County Meat Market. Head over there, put some good meat on the grill, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip! Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
woo!
I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Creed. Are You Ready Tour with very special guests, 3 Doors Down and Mammoth WVH. Friday, November 15th at Moody Center. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Creed with 3 Doors Down and Mammoth WVH on the Are You Ready Tour.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. Day 3 from Las Vegas. Our Radio Row coverage continues with a guy that played for the Cowboys that actually has Super Bowl rings, Daryl Moose Johnston. He will join us. We'll talk with Ed McCaffrey, Chris Myers, Joe Cardona, and many more. So stay tuned to the Blitz starting at 2 o'clock today. Hey, RJ, that Mort nickname is starting to stick, isn't it? Morte.
We're going to do it. We're going to go Morte.
Morte.
And see, the sad thing is, yet another movie that R.J. Ochoa cannot identify with is Morte is stolen from a movie. That's an excellent. Our morning brigade would know. And we want to thank all you morning brigaders for joining us and staying with us.
Brigaders? The word brigade is plural.
They're the brigadiers.
Well, whatever. By the way, on the subject of just stealing something, that's what the Blitz did. When we came up with these cool nicknames for everybody, they were like, "Oh, well, we want to play. We want to do it too."
You ever seen Trading Places? Eddie Murphy? Mortimer?
No.
Well, Morte.
Nope.
You are the Morte.
Have you ever seen Kill Bill?
Yes. Both of them.
I actually recently saw Pulp Fiction for the first time. Kind of overrated.
So you understood the reference when I said we don't want to move that. The Gimp might be in there. You got that.
I didn't. I mean, if it's from Pulp Fiction, I mean, I've seen it once.
I got you.
So
the Cowboys, the interviews are done yesterday. How do you think Jerry's going to milk this?
Well, it's only Wednesday, so there's no need to make a move right now. And it's Wednesday, so I think if I'm Jerry, I let all the Radio Row stuff percolate. Oh yeah. You guys think it's cool? There's a game on Sunday?
So Friday about 2?
No, that's way too late.
Oh, too late.
Yeah, because the Friday morning shows are done. It's got to be tomorrow about 3. So it happens live for the afternoon drive.
Gotcha.
And then Friday morning can lead with it. Screw your guests.
So you think it'll happen Thursday night for a full Friday coverage as we go into the big
not
game?
Thursday night. Thursday middays, early afternoon, midday, because Dak and everybody who's at NFL Honors can be asked about it.
So that
not my first time.
In the grand scheme of things that need to occur with the Cowboys, the DC is important. It is. I'm not going to say, I don't care who they hire, but I really don't care who they hire.
Okay.
But the Dak Prescott question does matter because the ramifications aren't for just this year, but it's years in what occurs.
Here we go.
Here we go toward the negotiation period. I asked the question, what are we going to do about Dak? You're Steven. You got a checkbook. What do you do?
This is a dangerous game.
Yes,
I mean, it's a dangerous game.
Because sometimes what looks good for you ain't, and sometimes it looks like it's awful for you, but it's exactly what you need.
I'm just follow me here. Who are the best two quarterbacks this team has ever had post Troy Aikman?
Tony and Dak.
Okay,
There's
right.
no question.
And they were both above average,
A1 level,
above
yeah.
average, whatever.
Absolutely.
Like define that how you want. They were both in the group
Capable.
of guys you need to have. Exactly. Okay. How did they arrive on the Cowboys? Each of them.
Luck, ass backwards, happenstance. Just God gifted them a quarterback for a while.
Complete and total luck. Okay. So do you want to spin that wheel again and hope that fate is on your side? Or do you want to understand and recognize and admit that you're in some difficult circumstances and you have some work ahead, but you got to roll your sleeves up and take care of it, but that you have to move forward with the dude who's going to finish second in MVP voting tomorrow night?
This is such an existential question for coaches on an individual basis. What's your thought of how you're going to build your team?
He's going to finish second in MVP tomorrow, Rob. Second.
I get it. But there comes that you have to define who you are now and who you want to be. And who I am now is not who I want to be. So how do I become that? Well, I gotta shed my skin. I gotta become something I'm not. And to do that is going to take a difficult time. And the first and foremost thing I gotta do is quit being who I was. I gotta say goodbye. I love you. It ain't me. It ain't you. It's me. But Dak's got to go, and I gotta walk through the valley of death, and I gotta get through the other side to find out who I am, because I don't know who I am today as a Cowboy.
I understand having an existential crisis right now. I understand recognizing that the set of variables don't line up with one another.
Right.
That being said, the most secure path is by way of extending Dak. That's not to say it's the safe route, but it is. The goal isn't to simply be relevant, but the goal that you are trying to achieve right now is most quickly achieved in a hypothetical sense, and all of it is hypothetical, by going down that path.
So I got to do something that I'm not comfortable doing, knowing that it'll pay off for me sooner than later, because it'll allow me to move him.
But that's the problem.
And allow me to go get some things.
That's the problem, is not doing this sooner has costed them several times, because they have waited, they have procrastinated, they have prolonged, they have continually put themselves not just behind the 8 ball, but behind several 8 balls. He has all the. I'm getting tired of explaining this. He has all of the leverage. You can think he sucks. You can think this. You can think that. Whatever. He has every bit of conceivable and imaginable leverage at disposal here. He has them by everything.
And, I used to work with a guy. I always say, your fault, my fault, nobody's fault. We put it behind us. He's got every bit of leverage. And if I look at the situation I find myself, I can use that to my advantage. I can. Because for him to maintain that leverage, he's going to have a hell of a season. He's going to have to.
But the leverage is relative to getting, we have some, I wouldn't say breaking news, but, oh my gosh.
The 3-note sting is in effect.
I saw this comment in the chat, so I do want to shout out Matt first. Matt, hope I'm trying to get this right. Zuleika, the Cowboys. Let me pull this this alert up. This is according to CBS Sports. I don't know who the insider was that broke this here, as I stall while my phone loads. CBS Sports' Justina Anderson shared 9 minutes ago that she was told former Jets and Bills head coach and now ESPN pundit Rex Ryan interviewed for the Cowboys' vacant defensive coordinator job.
Who says prayers aren't answered? We can only hope that's the case. There's a family connection. His brothers had the same job for a while. Maybe there's a couple of shirts that'll still fit. Some old cowboy polos that,
Dude,
that his brother left behind. That is the craziest thing I could. Just because he interviewed doesn't mean he gets.
I mean,
because it fits exactly the narrative. Nobody wants to be there because they know at the end of next year it's over. So you've limited your job pool to the desperate and the the absolute desperate and those that are not adequately prepared. That's all you're going to get in a situation like this. So why am I surprised? I bet there's some more names that we wouldn't be too surprised to hear if Rex Ryan got a Zoomer interview.
Dude, so I had to dude you because this is a dude thing.
It's a dude thing.
I mean, dude, there are 3 external candidates who they have been connected to. All former head coaches, all washed up, all not capable of evolving at this point in time. Ron Rivera, Mike Zimmer, and Rex Ryan. They are not a serious team. They are not. This is the Logan Roy, I love you, but you are not serious people. I know you haven't seen Succession, but I'll find that episode so you can see it because the drama involved is kind of extraordinarily pertinent to this. Dude, what is this? Like, what? Like, what?
You ask for things to occur right before things that are scheduled. And coming up, it is our daily affirmation. It is your opportunity to exhale the bad air and bring in the good. We are airing grievances, find their problem, and throw it away. And I think we have a new one. We're hearing from CBS Sports' Justine Anderson, who has reported this morning that one of the interviewees for the defensive coordinator was my favorite of the Ryans. He's got the shorter hair and the foot fetish.
They don't deserve us. They really don't.
Let's go get us a snack. Let's air them grievances next. He's RJ. I'm Rob. We're huddled up right here at the Media Row, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, our good friends at Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Synergenics. We're back with grievances. Hold on tight. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I hope as you air your grievances, you're feeling fine. I hope there's nothing painful keeping you out of being complaining. That's why Rossi's here. They are here to fix pain. They do it in a remarkable way, and they do it for a lot of different issues. So if you're dealing with muscle pains, a sprain or a strain, you got a frozen shoulder, you got that kind of tension that starts in the middle of your shoulder blades and wraps around and punch you right in the nose. You got friends that just won't leave you alone, guys that just come and tap you on the shoulder over and over. If you're dealing with pain, listen to me. Rosti works. I'm a patient, have been for a long time. My family's patients. No matter the case, if you've dealt with it before, they can cut the time of getting better by half. In my case, I've had lower back issues most of my adult life, and I knew once I pulled it, once I strained it, I was on my back for 3 weeks. I started going to a Rosti that was down. 3 visits, I'm back in the game, baby. 1 visit, I'm walking. That's what they do. Give them the chance. They accept most insurances, and you never need a referral to go. Write this number down: 1-800-404-6050. The website is Rosti.com, a great map of all the providers. Listen to me close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Rosti's here for you. Call them today, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is day 3 of Radio Row, Super Bowl coverage from Las Vegas, and we got a moose sighting. Daryl Johnston. He will be our guest right here on Radio Row.
Plus, we will talk with Ed McCaffrey. He's got a kid playing on Sunday. You've probably heard of him. Chris Myers will join us. So will Joe Cardona. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she had just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury protection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code Alamo. That's Alamo on Prize Picks for your first deposit. They'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
It's the way we end it. It's the way you start it. We air our grievances to charge into a hump day. You got something to say, a complaint, a problem. This is your opportunity. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You can type them digitally. You can text us at that same number, or you can go to our YouTube feed, which we also greatly appreciate. And while you're there, make sure you have subscribed, liked, and shared, and put a thumb on it and become one of the notables. If you're a notie, are you a notable?
Yeah,
I like that. Rudolph, you are correct. We did send Rex Ryan a case of toilet paper about a year ago. He was talking about the Cowboys defense, I believe.
He also called Amari Cooper a turd,
which given certain circumstances, might not necessarily be wrong. If you're just joining us, Josina Edwards of CBS Sports just tweeted out that in the Cowboys interview process, not only did they bring in they brought in Ron Rivera, but I know they couldn't have been interviewing at the same time because the handicapped and aged parking spot would have been taken. So we could only have one at a time. Rex Ryan evidently also interviewed along with Mike Zimmer. They all interviewed early so they can go get an early dinner at 5 and take advantage of their AARP discount and get on home for an evening.
Dude, this is so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed. It's exhausting defending these people. Like it is actually exhausting.
All my Marine brothers out there, I'm not one, but I understand the terms. Embrace the suck, man. This is the Expendables, man. Buy a ticket. Buy a ticket and enjoy this ride because it's going to end with explosions and fire. This is how this is going to go down.
Buy into us.
Buy into us, man. We're a championship team.
We've established a
This is
championship
Dogecoin.
program. It's just
I'm
not the
selling
World
all of this.
Championship
Like
yet.
I want nothing to do with it. It's just a disaster. It's just why? I mean, what did we do to deserve this?
There's nothing wrong with the Dallas Cowboys that cannot be prolonged by a Rex Ryan influence. Hey, it's sad that his resume isn't bad. He would not be a bad defensive coach. It's
Do you know the last time he coached in the NFL?
No, you're right.
Do you know? What? Oh, do you want to guess?
I'd say 6 years ago?
2016.
So 8 years ago, yeah.
What on earth? What? No, stop.
Just because they let him apply doesn't mean he gets the job.
I am so angry that I want to vomit. I'm that like I'm at that point.
Air your grievance. Air your grievance. Could they just be throwing this out to lower expectations so that when they do bring in, I don't know, your favorite Zimmer or Rivera, we go, oh, well, at least this guy's been on a sideline in the last 3 years.
I mean, I'm really just beside myself. I mean, I'm really stunned. You know, I thought to myself, if they involve any other external candidates, at least it will be widening the parameters, widening the scope of vision. And that can't be worse. That would literally be an improvement. This is literally the only way it could be worse. This is not a serious move. You're not a serious team if you pluck this dude off of television. So I have a co-host for a podcast I do called the NFC's Mixtape, Brandon Gouton. He's the me for our Eagle side of SB Nation. And when Jason, he's the master of headlines. And when Jason Witten unretired to rejoin the Cowboys, his headline for the article at the time was something like, Dallas Cowboys signed failed television analysts to be their new tight end, something like that.
And that's it was a true statement. That was exactly what they had done.
That's this.
Right.
Like, what? I mean, this is not. And I'm already pre-annoyed at the people who are going to tell me about how this is a good idea and how he's going to institute discipline and attitude and ferocity. When his brother, they're not the same people, but when his brother was the defensive coordinator of this team, it was among the worst defensive measurements in team history.
It was.
I mean,
those were the turnover desert years where we couldn't buy a turnover. We got one a month on defense when Rex Ryan was dealing with the defense. If you're just joining us, it does appear that Ryan, amongst the other failed and retired coaches, have completed the interview process, and now it's just about the timeline for Jerry to announce whoever that's going to be. And we know him; he'll want to dominate at least one news cycle. So if they are done, it'll probably happen here in the next couple of days, and I'm sure more lamentations will be sent as the name of the guy who is going to stand there for a year. You know, he's going to rearrange the chairs on the Titanic, and we will have this discussion again next year. We'll have the very same grievances. Last night.
Go off, King.
You know, I understand the gig economy.
Okay.
I understand, you know, driving there. I've had a lot of great Uber conversations, a lot of great Lyft conversations, good people. But we had a genuinely frightening Uber experience yesterday.
It was a taxi experience.
Well, taxi experience.
Taxi, not Uber. Don't, you know.
You're right. I shouldn't defame.
Yeah.
But I am grouping all into this. I'm starting to be a proponent of the glass wall.
Okay.
That being said, I had my first experience last night. And this isn't a gripe at all. I appreciate the little iPad on the back of the seat with games to be played in trivia. Have you had that before?
Well, with you, but
I mean, was that the only time you've ever seen that?
Yeah.
I feel like they're stealing my data. I think that if I press that thing, they're keeping my fingerprint.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I didn't like that shining in my face all the way through that. The lift in the Uber game in Vegas is I guess when you get here, that's what you do, right? That's the easiest thing to fall into, to put a little money in your pocket.
I suppose, yeah.
Our Uber driver, you should never tell people if you're visiting a city that you're right in the middle of a war zone. That's the worst thing you could possibly do.
I think yesterday was your fault. You were a bit too open in conversation.
Maybe I was.
And I think you were trying to soften the initial blow, and it didn't work. And so we took a taxi yesterday, and Rob ran into maybe his mortal enemy. And I don't want to repeat what he said, but it was
evidently within an hour of Las Vegas, there was an avalanche.
It was mildly threatening what he said. I mean,
well, put yourself in. You get in a car, and the guy, and we're talking about the weather, and rain was everywhere. We're talking about the rain. He goes, "Well, where I live, there was an avalanche." And I said, "Oh, like a mudslide?" He goes, "No, an avalanche." And I was like, "Oh, like a double syllable curse word."
Yeah, it was a
avalanche. And I said, like snow? He goes, yes, snow. About an hour from here, 5 people were buried, and everything's fine. And oh, by the way, 300 meters, he used meters, from where you are now is the worst hellhole in all of Las Vegas.
Yeah. He He frightened me. I was uncomfortable. I had picked up a burrito on the way out, and I didn't want to eat it, except I was like starving. And he made me feel incredibly uncomfortable. And when we left, you were like, "Have a good day," and he was just incredibly silent.
Well, we got to keep. I've been trained by my Uber rating. I don't want to piss any of those guys off because we've all suffered that one Uber 1-star review that you pay for 3 months later when it's midnight and the Uber's coming and then they check your rating and they turn off. So it took me years to overcome an SA Sports Star outing to get over. So I always go out of my way to tip and to 5-star anybody that I've gotten. So I treat everybody like that because I want to make sure I get picked up when I need to be picked up, and I've suffered through that.
Yeah, that's fair. Ultimately, though, this was kind of worth giving a poor rating to. This was a really
that would have been a 4-star.
It was a taxi. You couldn't have done that. You've been into the taxis
it's easier.
It really is, honestly.
At this point, because
it's easier because they have people hailing them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not waiting. It's about the same price, except for I'm paying a surcharge with my credit card every time I ride one.
But there is something cool to like, where you going, sir? And you know what I mean? And then it's like,
let me tell you, there is something freeing about jumping to a car. I said it the other day, and then giving an address and saying, step on it. There's an extra 10 in it if you can get there in 5 minutes, or follow that car.
Yeah. Don't let them get away.
Don't let them get away. And just act like you're holding a badge up when you get there.
Yeah.
I'm with LAPD. Don't follow that car.
Just like flash them. Just, hey. Well, if you had said, something like that to this taxi driver, we wouldn't be here right now.
My last gripe, and it's not a gripe. I don't have a grievance. I just felt so bad last night at the Las Vegas party, the media party. Because they offered us at the racetrack the different versions of Vegas through the years. You had your 50s, you had your 70s, and you had your modern day glitz and glam. In the 50s Rat Pack and early Frank Sinatra years, they had a setup look like the Trop back in 1969, and the Naugahyde leather and all the cigarette girls or whatever, they were carrying food, but they were dressed like that. Well, they were celebrating that era, and over to the side, in a fairly prominent place, was a bunch of pictures of Elvis. Pictures of Elvis doing a bunch of things, and an old dude sitting at a table. I called Minix. I said, "Where are you?" He goes, "Oh, I'm up here talking to Elvis's brother-in-law." I was like, "Well, where's that mean?" He goes, "Oh, no, trust me, you'll know." So I walked up there, and amidst all these pictures was this old dude just sitting at the table. He's Elvis's brother-in-law, and he had put pictures, and he was brought in by one of the hotels, I forget which one, and he was there just to talk about Elvis. His brother-in-law, who he met, or his stepbrother,
I was going to say,
who he met when they were like 16.
Yeah. By the way, I believe you have some things to give away.
I do. I'm going to give them away right here at the end. We're going to give away some Namish Patel tickets to those that have hung till the bitter end.
But it was I didn't make it there, but I saw the picture.
I felt so bad for that cat.
So your gripe is with who?
Well, I have no gripe. I just felt like this is your life. Maybe he's practicing a judge and a mayor or whatever, and just does this because he's proud to be an Elvi.
Mm-hmm.
But so what was Elvis like?
I knew him.
Did he put his socks up when he? What do you do? Yeah, I knew him. Here's a picture of me with him. Want to pose?
I don't really share this gripe, but I do have one relative to last night. If you'll allow me.
I'm not griping. I feel bad for that cat. I would hate for that to be my
whatever you want to call this, whether it's a grievance or a gripe or a note. It passes. You get a thumbs up from me.
Okay.
I've realized, and my son is 2 years old, so I feel like we have a lot of events in the future.
Oh, you
right?
bet.
Like things we'll put on
a
birthday
fair
parties.
Amount of milestones. Yes.
Learned a lesson from the short amount of time that we've been here this week. When you're having mass people, whether that's 100 or in this case thousands, stick to the hits from a dietary standpoint. Just stick to burgers, hot dogs, chicken
You're
tenders.
talking for like a mass catered
pizza.
event.
Yeah, but you can define mass catered as 50 people, 100 people, whatever. Like that's much smaller scale than what we've been experiencing this week. We don't need to get fancy. You know what I mean? Like
avoid the plantains is what you're talking about.
Yeah, like the fanciest thing that I think you can do is like smoke a brisket. That you want to do that by all means. You know what I mean? But like anything beyond that, you're thinking about this too much.
They did overthink last night.
Yeah.
A lot of Asian foods that was part of the celebration, but not. There was the Lunar New Year celebration for the Clark County Asian Society at the same time as the Super Bowl party, which was great, but we kind of mingled amongst a party that we weren't invited to. And we're talking about thousands of people. I mean, it was a big deal, but you can tell those that were the media by the lanyards you're wearing, and we were amongst a bunch that weren't. And the food was good, but I kept saying, this doesn't feel right. This is not what the Super Bowl is. And then we found our locale, and you'll hear all about that from the Blitzing boys who are here just a couple hours because they're sleeping off last night. They better be.
They told us they would.
We have steady work afoot.
They said, by the way, on the subject of that, and this is low-hanging fruit, so I won't pluck it, but the feet things are all over the internet right now with Rex Ryan.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, they're all over the place right
now. So we want something else to talk about. How about a white tooth foot fetish dude?
I just tweeted this out. I wrote the story about this at Blogging the Boys during the commercial break, but I was telling you that Jerry was going to wait till I told you like 5 minutes before this. I was like, he's going to wait. Mm-hmm. He's going to wait. He's going to wait. Right now, the day is picking up here in Las Vegas, even though, we're about to be done because time is weird here.
Yes.
But the day is picking up. What is every table in here going to be talking about today?
That tweet was timed perfectly.
Despite the fact that there's a Super Bowl that's going to be
played. But let's talk about what really matters.
On Sunday, the whole of this entire area is going to be talking about Rex Ryan interviewing for the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator position. I got to say, Rob, I respect the game. I respect the game. You know how to work this, Jerry. You know what I mean? You
embrace the suck. I mean,
no, but like he knew when to drop it and how to drop it, whatever. I respect the game.
If you were to rank the three heir apparents or the
Holy
other dude,
crap.
Adel, what the other?
Dirty.
Those the three wise men and Dirty.
Aiden Dirty, easily.
Yeah, Aiden Dirty, and that is only because why?
Well, because he's a serious coach and a serious person at this point, and he's in the building, and at this point, if you are just watching the grains of sand drop by, I don't want to be entertained like this. This don't go out like this.
Okay, my question here is, and this is worthy of exploring, because are we mad just because we want to be mad, or are we mad at the choice? What if Dan Quinn left last week and Jerry walked out and said, "No worries,
I'm mad. Dirty.
He's my guy."
That would have been fine.
Would you have celebrated? You would not have.
No,
You'd have been mad because you're mad.
No, I would have been fine because this just seems like you're messing with us. Like this is like you're trying to be silly. At this point in time, this is like when your kids reached a point where they could like be clever in arguing back with you, and you were like, "You're being a little smart aleck."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like this is that, and it's manipulation. It's deep psychological warfare at this point in time.
You think you're mad at Rivera? You think you're a little concerned that Zimmer might be disconnected? Wait till you get a load of Rex Ryan.
Yeah,
that's the feel you get. You think you're mad now? What do you drive it?
That's what This is all about that. This is like, okay, I gotta take some heat off Zim. Like we got to get people on board with this. So who's our sacrificial lamb? And Rex said, "Hey man, put me on Google searches, payroll for the day."
That's
my SEO up.
You're giving them credit for understanding the media cycle and the rotation and the clock. Also, you need to give him credit for understanding setting expectations. And if you lob out Rex Ryan at 9 o'clock in the morning, expectations suddenly dropped. You are now the point of conversation. So anything you give us now, you're like, well, at least it wasn't that guy.
This is such a great point from Jane Slater, friend of the station. And I don't think it's realistic to expect that Mike Vrabel could be their defensive coordinator, but her tweet reads, "The Cowboys are clearly not afraid of interviewing large and imposing coaches, and yet not one call to Mike Vrabel."
Because everybody's afraid of Mike Vrabel.
But like, if you're going to go down this road, why won't you go down that road? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous.
We are not serious men. We are the Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson. And man, oh man, don't miss tomorrow. Who's in our limo for tomorrow?
Tomorrow on deck, we will have New York Giants wide receiver Jalen Hyatt.
That guy's fast.
We will have Dan Marino.
That guy's handsome and wears
leather
gloves.
We will have Bert Kreischer.
He wears no shirt.
We will have Tony Pollard.
He is looking for another job.
And we will have Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison can catch a football.
And we will have who else knows, because that's the way things work around here. You can be chilling, just minding your own business, and then boom, Rex Ryan is in your life.
Thrilling like a villain. Hey, we want to thank everybody for running with us, but we were just the beginning of a full sporting day. Mikey, we do expect just around the corner, Romeo will be swinging on a vine, and then Left Shoe and Big Fudge will bring you the Blitz in all of its appropriate terms. Let's give away some tickets real quick. You want to go see Namesh Patel? Get on the phone, talk to Edwin. If you're caller number 3, you're going to be going on just 2 nights from seeing a fabulous comedian. We got to go. He's RJ. I'm Rob. Where's those Danishes? We'll see you in the morning.
the professional